minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for episode 2, or game 2, session 2, what have you, of January's 12-hour charity stream. We are here rocking some Numenera with a bunch of familiar faces and some new faces. So let's go around, introduce those people, and get right into the rolling fun. John, let's start with you. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you doing here today?
Sure. I'm John, as you may have already heard. What I do is basically spend a lot of time playing TTRPGs with my friends in real life, and now I've been sort of getting into streaming it a lot. You can find me on Twitter at @onthatinternet. It's pretty easy to remember. I stream with Dyson Heroes also, who Robert here, Bob. We have too many R's and B's going on here. Bob is the GM of that campaign, and so yeah, that's where you can find me.
Fantastic. Speaking of Bob and his lackluster GM skills, Bob, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you doing here today?
I love you, Bob.
Well, I'm certainly not planning on killing your character on Monday. That's for damn sure. My name is Bob. You can find me on Dyson Heroes. I GM. Actually, I think we're doing it today at some point. Yeah, other than that, you can find me here on Mondays. I run the Numenera, though I'm very bad at it.
He's not as bad as he says.
I'm as bad as everyone else says, apparently. Other than that, I'm just ready to play. Let's do this.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. We'll jump over to Ozzy. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, Ozzy? And what are you doing here today?
Hello, I'm Ozzy. I'm Cowhermd on Twitter, where you can find out what I'm up to. And today I'm happy to play and excited to play Numenera again, which is a great game and a great setting, which I don't get to play often enough. And we were playing Taimo, who is a mechanical nano who explores yesterday.
That sounds pretty fun. Let's jump over to someone who's exploring today. Kat, you've been here before. You're back again. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you doing here today?
Well, I'm Kat, also better known as Cleric of Cord. I'm at the Twitters, and if you want to know where you can find me, check the pinned tweet on my Twitter page. But normally I'd encounter roleplay and playing TTRPGs. Yes, I've been up since 4 a.m. Excuse me. I'm here to help raise money for Extra Life for Kids. That's what I'm doing, because that's a worthy cause. And you know what? Let's help the kids.
Heck yeah, I
agree.
agree.
Chuck the money at this. Well, don't chuck the money at the screen, but you know how it works.
You know, virtually chuck the money at the screen.
Yes,
if it helps you to donate money, feel free to throw some at the screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
That being said, we'll jump over to our last cast member and the only new face on the stream today. Rob, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you doing here today?
Well, like you heard, my name is Rob. You can find me on Twitter at @McKincaid. I play tabletop RPGs. I'm a DM for D&D. Help raise some money.
Perfect. That being said, guys, as we've said, this is a charity stream. Please check the donation section down below for what you can donate for. Nat 1s, Nat 20s, all kinds of fun stuff. We have already smashed our first goal, smashed our second goal, and we are well on our way to hitting $500 for this month alone. With that, I'm going to hand things over to this wonderful cast here, and I'm going to step back and just be in chat. So, John, take us into the ninth world.
Yeah, get out of here.
Get on out of here. Okay, so I guess I should just start with describing the setting that everyone is in, so the people in chat and viewing and all that will have a little bit of context. Your characters are all either from or have recently arrived into a town called Whitelake. In the world of Numenera, this place exists in the Beyond, which, for people who aren't familiar, is kind of, you might think of it as sort of like a frontier wilderness. It's a lot weirder than that. Saying frontier wilderness doesn't really do it justice. But Whitelake itself is a town of about 1,500 people. It's kind of isolated from civilization, but luckily it exists sort of near a very large lake where the town gets its name from. The lake is known for Feryx turtles, who lay some very valuable eggs in the spring. Much of the town's economy is sort of based on gathering these eggs and preserving them, selling them, anyone in town who sort of has the ability to go get some will, because it's a great chance, and it only comes along every year or so. Your characters are all people who decided today to sort of organize with one another into a small group to go make the trip safely to the far side of the lake where the turtles are known to sort of lay their eggs. I think that's basically it. There's more detail you can always get into, but I'd rather hear about your characters now. Why don't we start with Ozzy? Tell us a little bit about your character, how they appear, what your abilities are, anything like that.
Taimo is a quite tall human, dressed practically, not flashily, practically sort of tight, quite tight and close to the body, because he likes to sneak around, explore strange places, and find things and find Numenera. Numenera is sort of the one thing he's really interested in. He can sense them, he can find them, he knows what they are about, and how to use them as well. And then maybe sell them for profit. And so this is the basics of the character. He's an explorer.
Cool. So I just rolled on the oddity table for you, since we are now here at the point. You receive a blanket that makes a pleasant, soft humming noise whenever it covers a living creature.
Aww.
It's a very, this will keep you feeling really nice in the cold nights. Let's go ahead and draw you an item cipher as well. Is that? I
like those cards.
Yeah, me too. That doesn't seem to be an item cipher, though. I just drew it, and it seems to be a picture of something. Okay, we're going to try another one. Boom. I am going to say, let's roll a d6 here and see what level this is. Actually, Ozzy, could you roll a d6 plus 2 for me?
6 plus 2?
Yep.
If roll 20 actually makes up.
There we go.
8.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you got a level 8 force shield projector.
Whoa.
It creates a shimmering energy shield around the user for 1 hour, during which time they gain 3 armor, or plus 4 armor if the cipher is level 5 or higher. So yeah, you get an hour of plus 4 armor in addition to any other armor you have whenever you decide to use this.
That is very handy because I'll have no armor whatsoever.
That is super good for someone like you, actually. I feel like you might need it too. Is there anything else about your character you'd like to say before we move on to Rob?
I think that's it. Anything else will come up during the game, I think.
Okay, cool. So, Rob, what can you tell us about Brick?
Brick is he's a retired bounty hunter. I want to say he's in his late 30s. Just average build guy, maybe a little bit sturdier than normal. Dresses pretty practically, brigandine armor, plates sewn into the clothing. Really doesn't look too outstanding. Practical, just a bounty hunter, but now he just does regular hunting.
What's the biggest creature you've seen? Like, how big was the biggest thing you've ever taken down while you were out on a hunt?
That's a good question. Pretty big.
Pretty big. Bigger than a man, for sure.
Definitely bigger than a man.
Okay.
Go easy on me. It's my first time playing.
Oh, totally fine. Sometimes I just like to prod people to get a little creativity going. Okay, so I went ahead and rolled for your oddity. Sorry. You receive an amulet that, when worn, projects a holographic image of a fish swimming around you. I feel like Bob, I feel like your character would really like that sort of a thing.
I already like Brick.
Uh-huh. Okay, and now let's draw a cipher for Brick. Roll me a d6 plus 2. I will roll a d3.
I've already forgot how to pronounce my race.
I'll figure it out again. Forward slash.
Yeah, you gotta do /R.
There you go. Okay, so you get a level 6 molecular bond disruption ray emitter.
What?
What this does is it allows the user to project a ray of destructive energy up to 200 feet, 61 meters, that inflicts damage equal to the cipher's level. So that will basically, it's like a medium weapon that can reach 200 feet away without needing to roll.
But it's only one use, right?
Yeah, that's yeah. Lucky for everyone but you.
What does Break's type and description?
Oh yeah, Brick. What is your sentence for your character?
Oh, I am a relentless glaive who hunts.
Well, you're going to be pretty relentless with that ray emitter, I feel like.
I'm pretty stoked.
Cool. So is there anything else you would like to mention before we move on to Cat?
No, I think we're good.
Cool.
Other than the fact that my character is just really not a people person. Getting gruff.
It's fine. I am. We're good.
You know, the people of this town have they're used to rugged individualists out here. They've found a way to fit you in without you feeling like too much of an outsider. As long as you keep your word and you help pitch in when it's needed, you'll be fine here.
Always.
Cool. So Kat, tell us about Caden.
Caden is a tough glaive who bears a halo of fire. This is a guy who looks like he has been there, done that. He's got the scars to prove it. Spent a little time in solitary confinement in prison when his abilities became known, and he may have sort of damaged a few people and some property. So once he got out, he kind of knew by reputation the two leaders of the village. They said, "Yeah, come out." He keeps to himself, dresses simple, and he is basically going along on this because he was asked to kind of help provide some type of security to help keep the people who are actually going after the eggs a little safer. It's not so much for the eggs as to keep everybody safe.
Sure. It's treacherous out there.
Yep.
So I went ahead and rolled for your oddity. You received your clothing is about to get a little bit less complicated, or more complicated, I should say. Pants that fit perfectly and never seem to get dirty, but are always chilly.
It reminds me of something. I can't put my finger on it.
Did you draw that in another game, or am I missing the joke?
Yeah, Mike went through this like epic thing on our Monday game to try to stop those from getting destroyed. He has to.
Well, they might be in another dimension now, Mike. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to draw a cipher for you now, and then go ahead and roll a d6 plus 2 for the level, please.
And
5? Okay, so you get a level 7 cold detonation. It seems to be an item that can be thrown in a short range or projected up to a long range. It explodes in an immediate radius, inflicting heat-draining damage equal to the cipher's level. Okay. So that's a level 7. 50% of these are massive detonations and explode in a short radius rather than immediate. So keep in mind, if you use this, we're going to flip a coin, and it is either going to be a small explosion or a big one.
all right. Well, that'll be interesting because one of the nice things about the Bears with Halo is it comes with an artifact already. So I have a device that sprays inanimate objects to make them fire resistant.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So fire and ice. We're looking good here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Was there anything else you want to mention about Caden before we move on to Bob and Anura?
No, I think think we're good. I think when he gets ready to flame on, it's going to be kind of fun.
Okay, and I think Bob's character will be there to put the fires out. Here's how I decided this is going to be pronounced: a creenie. Bob, just to remind you.
Okay, so I am an Akrini Jack who lives on the road. And a creenie is a humanoid who is actually an amphibian. I have webbed feet, webbed hands, and I'm a waterbender. So pretty much that means that my clothes are actually made of water. Though there's sea foam in the bits that you shouldn't see. I also carry a pack on my back. You notice that there are water straps, but the pack itself is a globe of water with a catfish and another type of fish you probably haven't seen before that are constantly swirling around each other. Other than that, yeah, I have purple skin. I'm pretty slimy. Normally, and I have the disability where every 28 hours I have to switch from water or air to clean out my gills.
Interesting. So you've probably been traveling sort of along this river that feeds into the lake, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not just that, I also have the pack of water. It's literally just a globe of water that I can
Okay.
suck myself into if I need be.
Cool. So I rolled for your oddity. You received a metallic device that creates one new sheet of paper each day.
I need that in my life.
Actually, you could use it to sort of like make maps and stuff.
Yeah, I am a traveler. Okay.
Let me draw your cipher real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll a d6, no +2 on this one.
Sure. Naturally.
You just got the two worst possible options.
Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? I can bend water.
For one, you got a level 1 cipher, not usually all that big of a deal. It's just sort of insult to injury. The item itself, and I think we're going to redraw because I don't like this.
Well, keep in mind, I get
water breather.
I get 2.
Oh, you get to draw 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't I just draw a different card then? And if there's 2, we'll take both of them.
2 is your max 2.
It might be max 2.
Oh yeah, that's probably what that is.
The cipher limit is what's on the character sheet.
Okay, so this is what you get instead. You get Eagle's Eye. A level 1 Eagle's Eye. It grants you the ability to see 10 times as far as normal for 1 hour. And I'm going to say underwater, above water, doesn't matter.
What would the other one have been?
The other one, oh, sorry, I thought I said it out loud. It was a water breather.
I already breathe.
And I was like, that's just so not.
I mean, I'll take it anyway and give it to someone else.
Yeah, it's okay.
But the reason why I'm with the party is for obvious reasons. I'd probably be the one to collect the egg itself. So I'm also multilingual. I don't know the languages that are here before that becomes an issue. I don't want to be like, oh, by the way, I speak that language too.
Well, perhaps if an octopus peeks its head up in the lake, you'll have something to say to it.
Like, hey, what's up, bro?
Otherwise, everyone here, I believe, pretty much just speaks the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, how big are those eggs?
Oh, I hadn't really thought about it. I want to say probably tennis ball sized, just to sort of give it a nice wide berth of
decent bird egg sized.
Yeah.
It's fine. I have an incubation chamber on my back.
The eggs themselves are bright white and they're iridescent. They almost sort of glow. If you look at the background image on the Roll20, that's sort of my interpretation of what they don't lay the eggs like you would see like a chicken lay an egg where they squawk and it plops down on the ground. When these turtles lay their eggs, they are covered in them on the outside. They surface to the water, the surface of the water in the lake, and they sort of shake themselves kind of like a wet dog, and the eggs just kind of they fly out in all directions and just kind of cover everything.
Yeah, that's how we normally do it.
That's how eggs work, right?
Oh, that's how my people do it.
Oh, sure. Learn something new every day. Okay, so that is everyone's cipher, everyone's oddity. Is there anything else y'all would like to cover before we get into the adventure itself?
No.
Okay. Let me then. Okay. So this is the regional map. I'm assuming it brought y'all all to the same tab as me, correct?
No, you have to drag it over.
Drag it over. What do you mean drag?
If you pull down the menu or the tab, there's the player flag. You got to drag your flag over to
Gotcha.
the map.
Cool. Okay, so now you are seeing the map, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
So this is Whitelake right here. It sits at the eastern side of the plains of Kataru in the Beyond. I want to say a few hundred miles from the Clock of Kala. The rivers here feed into the lake itself, which then continues on south to somewhere you've never heard of or been. The town itself is on the shore of the lake. There's farmland in between the village itself and the actual shores, but they're basically right next to each other. Not far to the south is an old abandoned castle called Selaskor Castle. People here stay away from it. There are rumors that there's something strange going on there. There are people who have superstitious beliefs, and there are people who believe in non-superstitious explanations. But it is said that the castle itself is haunted by the king who used to rule this land. There are other places nearby. They're not necessarily all that important unless we just go way off the rails for this. So yeah, why don't I get right into it? You guys have been sort of, it's the time of year. Everyone in town is sort of talking about the eggs. It's time to go gather the eggs. Even people from out of town know about them. It's part of the reason why folks come here. They're very good to eat and super nutritious. They keep for forever, and people want to pay a pretty penny for them because of that. The town itself is led by a married couple named Hervin and Dale. Hervin is a nano. He wields sort of magnetism to sort of to do things around town, like raising walls and doing all sorts of things that you couldn't do with just brute strength. Dale is an old glaive who received some pretty grievous injuries in the past, and now kind of maneuvers around town in what we in the real world here would kind of describe as a wheelchair. I'm not sure it looks exactly the same as how we would envision it, but functionally it's pretty equivalent. And they've sort of just gathered a small gathering of people to sort of discuss, plans to, it's kind of just like, hey, make sure if you go out to the lake, don't go by yourself, get a group of people, be safe. We don't need to have anyone get hurt over, some shins. We're safe here. We can eat. Getting extra money is not a priority for any of us. So just keep that in mind as you go to gather. And they sort of, everyone in the small group that's gathered just kind of breaks and resumes whatever they were doing. Your party itself has gathered supplies. So you've got food, you've got water, you've got some anine. They are kind of like pack animals in this particular world. They're grazing creatures that look almost like a reptilian dinosaur-like creature that's just very relaxed and calm most of the time. You're able to get some saddles and some packs, and they're all sort of ready to go. Your party is just sort of standing now toward the edge of town. And I'm going to leave it over to you to decide where to go from here.
So who's the most experienced egg hunter among us?
I don't know if I've hunted eggs before, but I definitely lay them.
You've got an intuitive understanding of marine life.
Yeah.
Well, I figure we have somebody who's a hunter with us. I would think that they would have some experience in this, given that they've been in this village for a while.
I would say between the two of you, one of you would definitely be able to do it, and the other one would probably count as some sort of asset on any checks that would be required for something like that.
Rick is skilled in tracking and things to that effect, I believe.
Okay.
I'm more of a party face. My race gives me the ability to speak with people. Everyone views me in a friendly manner.
That's good, because there are a lot of places out here in the beyond where someone like you might not be received all that warmly. But here in Whitelake, you're welcome.
Yep.
I hit things.
Do we know if anything dangerous lives in the lake?
Well, there's always predators. Spawning time is sort of a dangerous time for most creatures. I don't know if you know specifically what sorts of things there are, but it's safe to assume that there will be things there trying to get the eggs that aren't people.
So we might have to fight other creatures for the eggs.
Definitely possible.
Okay.
Well, shall
Getting ready for anything.
yeah, shall we head out?
Yep.
Let's-
Pick the good spot. What are the laying patterns this year?
You think actually who here is from town, like you're born and raised?
Nope. All here for eggs.
I think I've lived here for a while, but not actually from here.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I've
Probably
been here
same
for about
here.
10 years.
Well, if we could find perhaps a cliff just underneath the water, that is usually where we would like to lay our eggs.
I am trained in swimming as well, if that becomes necessary.
Oh, it may. It just may. There have been people sort of talking. There's maybe been like a scout or two who's gone to sort of survey the area. The lake itself is about 10 or 15 miles wide, so it's not a small thing. You're going to have to travel quite a ways around to the river crossing so you can head around to the southeast side of the lake. That's where people say they have seen the most eggs. So that's probably going to be the best place to find as many of them as you're hoping to get.
Caden, you said you've lived here for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, would you like to lead the way? I'm sure you have gone here multiple times.
I have, but mostly as an escort. I think Brick has been here for a while, yeah, as well.
Few years, yeah.
Yeah, Brick is
Same
more of
here.
a hunter. That's
Actually, why don't we say, Brick, you're one of the scouts who surveyed the lake. You've got the inside scoop on where these things are, and you maybe have told, oh, this is where you're going to want to go, and the general area, you know exactly where you're trying to go. So there's like a cliffside alcove underneath, kind of just the same way Anura's character was describing it, and just that whole area is blanketed with eggs.
Guys, I just remembered. I know exactly where this stuff is.
lead on.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
All
Okay.
right, I'll take point.
All right, so Brick, I would like you to make a difficulty 2 intellect. This is going to be just to sort of safely remember and lead your party exactly to where you want to go.
Through my years of travel, can I give him aid?
Yeah, I think so. So I'd lower it to a difficulty 1.
Yeah.
So a 3 or higher on the die would get you a success.
Also, I think if you're trained in tracking and things of that nature, you might be able to just pass it.
Oh, that's a good check, actually. Let me just bust open that character sheet.
Sorry, I don't mean to rules lawyer.
No, it's totally fine. It's actually how I like this game to go. It sort of is a collaborative thing.
He said he was new, so I was just making sure you knew.
No, yeah, I actually appreciate it too, because I forget to remind people about stuff like that.
So new.
Are you actually? You've never played it before?
Never played Numenera. But
Oh, it's amazing.
I don't see the skills section.
It's pretty straightforward once you figure out what the roles mean.
Top right on the character sheet.
Okay. Oh, you didn't add skills in. I'm gonna say you probably do have this skill though, just because of your backgrounds, and you're able to sort of make your way there. There's no real obstacle to you getting there. And when you arrive, it's sort of it's just as you remembered it. The cliff face is sort of covered in eggs, and you guide your Anine safely there, and they're sort of calm, and everyone is happy, and you're able to sort of start gathering eggs.
How long's travel?
Let's see. Let me look closely at the map here and sort of ballpark it.
That's actually important, so I don't kill myself.
Oh, that's true. Well, you are going to be going along the lakeside, so you won't be too far from water.
So we're occasionally dipping into the lake.
Yeah. I will say if y'all leave first thing in the morning, you're able to get to where you want to be by mid-afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain. I may have to reread it, but I think every 28 hours, I literally have to shift for 28 hours.
Oh, okay.
That might be wrong, though.
We'll figure it out when we get there. I think it's okay either way.
Yeah.
So you stand sort of along the, not quite the edge, but approaching the edge of a cliffside bluff that sort of overhangs the lake. There seems to be brick you have sort of peeked over, and like you can see the cave down there where the turtles are supposed to have laid all their eggs, and there's like a faint glow that sort of comes in and out. It seems you would describe it as potentially unnatural, maybe, but you know that that's totally natural in a case like this. Strange things aren't all that strange out here. The problem is going to be climbing down there to get them, though.
Trained in climbing. If you'd like, I can climb on down there and take a look, see what we've got.
If you'd also, how deep's the water? How deep does it look?
Ooh, why don't you make a difficulty 4 intellect roll?
Okay.
This is going to be a perception roll to sort of see if you can see how far down into the water you can see from here.
Trying to figure out a way to scam this. Sure.
I mean, you do have that cipher.
Oh yeah, actually, let me use that instead.
Okay. Yeah, so you can see, how far was it that it said it let you see?
300 feet, 60 meters, I think you said.
I think it was further than that.
Oh.
It
I think it was 60 meters.
Okay, well, you can see down to the bottom.
Okay.
If you peek over the edge, you can see all the way to the floor of this place. Not only is the cave covered with eggs, the entire floor of the lake underneath is just absolutely blanketed. There's more eggs than y'all could possibly even carry home from here, and that is great. You and Caden might be the only people with the swimming skills to get down there and get all of them, but if you like, that's a possibility. Or you could gather the ones from the cave. The lake itself seems to be about, I just want to say about 100 feet deep, give or take.
To the water or below the? I'm sorry, I apologize.
Oh, sorry. It's about maybe 40 feet down to the water and then 100 feet deep below the surface.
Okay.
Well, let me go down and scout first. Look for danger. I'll climb down, climb back up when it's clear. Let you know what I found. Give me an idea of how many eggs are down there. Then we can figure out a way to start harvesting.
Cool.
I'm going to take the globe off of my back and then just have it follow her down in case she falls.
Your fish globe?
Yeah.
Okay.
In case, just so I can catch her in case she falls.
Oh, can you? Oh, you can. That's
I'm
cool.
a waterbender.
Yeah. I thought you were joking when you said that.
No. My clothes are literally, my weapons are, I can make weapons with water that last for 28 hours. So.
I had a
Nice.
liquid sword in my other campaign. We'll talk about that another time. So I would like you to make a difficulty 4 strength check. This is going to be to successfully climb down without losing your grasp or some other danger coming across.
All right, so I have an edge of 1 for might.
Okay.
I am trained, and I think I'd like to go ahead and use one of my pull points to kind of bring that down just a little bit.
Okay, so the training will lower it to 3. If you were to apply a level of effort, that would cost you 2 points from your strength pool, correct? And then you could, that would lower it to 2, so a 6 or higher.
Okay. So we'll do that. Yeah, piece of cake.
Nice. Yeah, you're able to sort of climb down with no real difficulty. You get to the surface of the water, and it's not quite as clear to you what's going on the bottom, but I think using the description that Anura gave, you see that it's pretty accurate. Once you get down to the surface of the water, you can see sort of, if you hold on with one hand and lean over to the side, you can sort of see the cave goes back into the surface of the cliff about 20 or 30 feet. And the entire roof of it is just covered in these iridescent, glowing, very beautiful to look at, actually, turtle shells or turtle eggs.
Okay. Gonna go ahead and kind of pluck a few just to put them in my pouch, and then climb back up.
Before you do, as soon as you put your hand on one of the eggs, I'm going to do a GM intrusion now.
Okay.
I meant to do this before. Forgive me for not remembering. Everyone, you have 1 XP. If you would like to refuse this GM intrusion, you do have an XP to do it with.
I'm gonna go ahead and refuse it.
Oh, I guess if you want to spend it, yeah, that's okay.
That's fine. She doesn't have to.
Okay. Sure, that's fine.
We need these eggs.
You get the feeling that something noticed what you were doing, but it didn't move against you.
Now, up on the top, can I see what she's doing?
You see her sort of climb into the cave and disappear for just a little bit. You see the shadows sort of move around inside as if Caden is grabbing, an egg or doing something that you can't quite see. But within a couple of moments, Caden pops back out and sort of looks up at you.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what did you want to do after that, Caden?
I was gonna say on my way down, I've set like pitons, spikes into the rock, and thread, the usual climbing stuff, threaded rope through them, so that everybody that follows down we're roped in.
Cool. I'm going to say that rope and pitons reduces the climb check to difficulty 1 for everyone. So that would mean if you're trained in climbing, you probably don't have to make a roll. If this is a very strange new thing for you, difficulty 1 is still not all that difficult, so it's realistic. So do you climb back up, or are you just going to hang out at the bottom for a minute and call everyone else?
I'm going to come back up because Caden is going to stand guard from the top of the cliff where he can see everything around, any dangers approaching, while the rest of them gather.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Yeah, so when Caden tells us that there's extend there, we'll head down.
Yeah, I'll dive.
You just dive straight in?
Yeah.
Nice.
My thing.
Sure.
I'll climb down.
Yeah, Timo, just very lazily slides down the rope.
Anyone who's
trained in climbing, so it's a seal.
Oh, you're trained in climbing? Cool. That was my next question. Brick, are you trained in any sort of climbing or athletics or anything like that?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, I would like you then to make a difficulty 1 strength check, or might check, sorry. And so that would be a 3 or higher on a d20.
Okay.
While he's doing that, for fiction purposes, I'm going to take the globe on my back as I dive in, and I'm going to let the catfish and the other fish free.
Is it a fish with the cat head?
Yes. And then I'm going to grab 2 more fish and then ask them to come in to my globe. Every time I get to a new body of lake, I'm just going to change the fish over. So this way, they repopulate there as well. Okay. And then I'll take some from there and then I'll move them to another place.
So you're invasively rearranging the local fauna?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. You're the expert. That's fine.
I'm the expert.
You're the expert. Oh, boy.
Ooh.
You win. You get a GM intrusion.
That was terrible.
This is going to be an Al crit, Bob. So roll a d2. If it is a 1, you don't get anything out of this. And if it's a 2, you get an XP and 1 to assign to someone else.
Yeah.
Okay.
What'd you expect?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so sort of as you sort of are manipulating your fish and the stranger's fish, you see a large turtle-shaped creature swim out from around a rock. It seems like it has been observing what the party was doing.
I'm going to hail it.
Okay. What language are you speaking to it in?
So I have the ability to serenade people with song, but it comes in the form of long drawn out underneath the water.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like whale song almost.
Yeah, it's meant to be sound like it was underneath the water. So I'm going to go ahead and just hailed him. I'm not gonna do the voice because I feel like that's overplayed.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't want you to do the voice anyways.
How now, brown cow?
Okay, so make a difficulty 4 intellect roll. This is to successfully convey your message to a strange creature that is suspicious of you.
Sure.
Do you have any assets that would apply to this? Oh, looks like you made it either way, so.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's also without me rolling the 4. Yeah, whatever. It's fine.
Oh, well. So the creature sort of, it takes note of you, and then it for whatever reason, it doesn't think you're a threat. And so it kind of moves back off into the deep of the lake.
Yeah, we're both, my peoples.
It's like, oh, okay, this is just nature's way. Never mind. It's not humans.
Yeah.
So the creature swims off into the distance. What are you doing while you're down here? You're just going to start gathering eggs?
I'm going to meet back up with the rest of the party, I guess, after I do my thing.
Sure. Who else is in the water? Is Brick and Ozzy and Caden, are you all down here now?
We're down, but not in the water. But whether I think I have like a like a stake with a net at the end, which I'm going to use to scoop out eggs I can reach.
Yeah, you've all managed to. You brought thick synth material sacks. They're big enough to where you could just load them full of eggs, throw it over your shoulder, kind of like a duffel bag.
How fragile are they?
They're not super fragile. For whatever reason,
are they soft like turtle eggs, or
they're
hard
kind of
like
they're very rubbery? So it's like
okay.
you could kind of squish them all together in the sack, and you can be pretty sure that most of them aren't going to break unless somehow they dry out or something. And preserving them for eating is drying them out anyway, so it's not the end of the world if it happens.
Caden's climbed up. He's got the rope that they're using top anchored, and he's just keeping watch. He's letting the other 3 gather the eggs while he keeps an eye out, looking for any kind of threats.
So everyone who's go ahead. Sorry,
I was gonna say, and he's watching the water as well as the surrounding area.
Okay, cool. I will probably have you make a roll in just a moment, but I would like everyone else first. If you're gathering eggs, I would like you to make a difficulty 4 intellect check. And if you have any assets that could be said to apply, we can chat about that. Perception, absolutely. If you have perception trained or specialized, that would apply for 1 or 2 levels.
Okay.
Is there room down here where Brick could be just watching out? Is Brick? I can't see Brick wanting to swim. He's not really trained in that. He'd be
sure. You're pretty strong, so you could probably hang on to the rope, down toward the bottom, and have your feet resting on one of the ledges. So you're kind of you're holding yourself to the wall with the rope. You're not really climbing on it. If your feet are sort of resting there, So you could sort of take up a watch position, sort of at the bottom, near the bottom of the rope. If that's what
I would like to do. Then
cool. Yeah.
And I'm going to spend a level of effort as well. So that's 2 for me because I've got an edge of 1 in intellect.
Yep.
1 success.
Okay, and Bob, was that 13 your other roll, or?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. This you said intellect, right? Was that for me?
For everyone who's gathering eggs.
Yeah. How do I roll just straight intellect?
You just pick whatever the difficulty is at the bottom.
Yeah. What was the difficulty you said?
It was a difficulty 4.
Okay.
But I'm going to also, because you're a sea creature, give you an asset for that too. So it would be difficulty 3. Do you have any other assets that would apply?
Am I particularly... I wouldn't be using my cipher at this point because I'm just gathering eggs.
I think your cipher would still be active though.
I mean, I'm using 2 hands to gather eggs, right?
I think the effect to your vision doesn't necessarily mean you have to use your hand on the cipher after it's been activated.
Oh, I was thinking like a spice, like a spy blade or glass. You know what I mean?
What's weird is that it looks like that, but once you did this and adjusted the range, your vision, once you took it away, your vision was still there.
Okay.
You can adjust it at will, and it will change the scale of your vision.
Does it have a big eye now?
Kind of. You see his pupils dilated, like to a point where you're like, I'm not familiar with this creature, but his eyes look very strange compared to how they did, a couple of minutes ago.
Which is funny too, is because my eyes are actually bulbous.
Uh-huh.
So it's just all pupil at this point.
Look like an anglerfish.
Even with that though, I still fail. Right? 12.
12.
11. You said it was what was the DC?
Difficulty
It was a
3.
difficulty 4, so you brought it down to at least a 2 with your aquatic.
Okay, so I passed that.
Cipher. Yeah, you passed. So yeah, both of you are able to fill up your sacks, and you sort of pass them along to Brick, who hoists them up toward Caden, sorry, at the top, and that's like. You could maybe load up another 2 bags like this and still be able to fit them on your Ani to take back. Would you all like to make another attempt to gather more eggs?
If they decide they'd like to, I will pass mine and Caden's bags to them.
Yeah, we should put them on, tie the pack to a rope so Caden can pull them up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Caden will check with Brick to see if they want to swap off, where Caden will be down below, Brick will be up at top for the second go around, because Caden can swim. That way, if something happens, he can go in the water.
Yeah, we can swap top watch.
Yep. So Caden
I'll head
will.
up top.
Yep. After Brick gets up to the top, Caden will climb back down and then hang out down there.
Okay.
While they finish collecting eggs.
So I can't climb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the next minute or 10 minutes making a rope out of water.
Oh.
Yeah, because I can't climb. Like it's I have webbed feet.
You can hang on to a rope though.
Yeah, this is a one-way trip. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll haul you up. That's not a problem. All you have to do is hang on to the rope. We'll haul you up when you're done.
Yeah.
Cool. So why don't you, who are gathering eggs, make another difficulty 4 intellect roll. And while this is happening, Brick and Caden, I would like you to make a difficulty 6 intellect roll. This is going to be to perceive something happening in the distance. So with a difficulty 6, that would mean an 18 or higher.
Oh, wow. How many of my edge points can I apply to this? Because
each level of effort you apply, you can apply the edge to that. So
okay, I have a 0 edge. I have a 0 edge to intellect, but I want to apply some. I do want to apply some effort to this.
So you can spend 3 points.
Correct. Your first level of effort will cost 3 points. Every level after that will cost only 2.
Basically, the edge reduces the cost.
Yes.
Usually it costs 3 points. If you've got an edge, it's reduced. You get reduced by that much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe at level 1, your effort is maxed out at 1, though. Correct.
Right.
Okay.
So, all right. So I'm gonna apply 1 effort to this.
Okay, so that would lower it to a difficulty 5. Do you have any skills that might be applied as an asset for something like this?
Climbing, swimming, and defense actions are my only skills.
Yeah, no, I guess that's it. Difficulty 5 for me then.
Right.
And Brick, do you have any... as a hunter, you maybe wouldn't... I guess... I thought I heard something strange. 1 second. Was that you, Bob?
No, I think we were raided.
Someone's watching Camelot.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot to mute my phone.
It's okay. I for a second I just thought it was in the actual music we were listening to, and I was like, I don't remember that.
Also, thanks to Monty Cook Games for hosting.
Oh wow, that's really kind of y'all. Thank you.
Yeah. Love your system.
Mike. Okay, so where were we? Thanks for telling me not to freak out. Now I can't focus on anything else but that. Right, y'all are in the middle of a perception check.
I got 19.
Difficulty 5 for Caden. Difficulty Brick, I think it's going to be just a difficulty 6 for you unless you apply effort.
Yeah.
That's
even
fine.
if I applied effort, it wouldn't have been a success. We're good.
Okay. And did you say you were as well, Bob?
I had a 19. I succeeded.
Okay. Yeah, then you're able to see this, and go ahead and roll, Caden. I didn't see if you did or not.
Oh, I rolled a 14. I failed.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, in that case, it looks like probably Anura, due to your cipher, is really the only reason you have any inkling that there's anything going on. But as you sort of climb up, as you are pulled up, I should say, over the ledge after the eggs are done being gathered, you see in the distance a very strange sight. There seems to be it looks like a metallic platform that has legs, and it has some people standing on it.
Do they appear hostile?
Hostiles, they might be too far away for you to be able to determine without another roll. If you'd like to take a closer look, go ahead and make another level 6.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw the rope up to them, and I'm going to pop out and say, hold on to this for a second. I see something, and then I'm going to dash under the water. And
oh, sorry, what you were seeing is above the water on the after they had pulled you up. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm okay. I thought this was like in the water, like moving towards me.
It's sort of like you get to the edge of the cliff, and then you see behind everyone else who's helping you climb up.
Yeah.
Something in the distance.
Okay, so after I get up, I'm gonna say, from a sneaking suspicion and knowing how adventures work, I'm gonna look at everyone else and say, put your eggs on the ground. And if they choose to do so, I'm going to use the globe of water and just wrap it around the eggs and then move it to like maybe off the side of the cliff and onto like a little ledge or something.
Just to sort of like hide them from whoever may be approaching you?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to make a roll for that, I don't think, to control the ball of water, right?
I don't know.
Huh.
It was vague. I'm sure there was a rule somewhere and I just didn't read it, but...
That's okay. I'm going to say it's a difficulty with all adjustments said and done. It's a difficulty 1.
Okay.
So if you get a 3 or higher, you're able to do this no trouble.
Can I use... Because I'm trying to do this in a hurried fashion, would I be able to use my speed for this?
Yeah.
Okay, I have an edge of 1, so...
Okay.
So I succeed.
Cool. Yeah, you're able to... actually, why don't you describe what you do with the eggs?
So yeah, I'm just gonna... As soon as they put the eggs in the ground, I'm assuming they're still in the distance, so they're not going to see all this.
Yeah, they're like a half mile or more away from you at this point. The thing they're on is big.
The 2 new fish that I got that I was going to repopulate somewhere else, I'm just going to be like, all right, guys, you got to go. Sorry, playtime's over. And I'm just going to throw them back into the lake. And then I'm going to use the globe, and I'm just going to make sure they stack it up, and then I'm just going to move the globe on top of the eggs. And then just with like almost like airbender, just throw it to the side and then just make it go off the edge onto a ledge.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to do that.
Looking for whatever threat that Anura is pointing out.
Sure.
And moving, kind of advancing a little bit towards it, taking a defensive stance.
Everyone who is on the ground now trying to look at this, I would like you to make a difficulty 6 perception roll. And any assets we can chat about if there are some that would be said to apply. This is to get a close look at what's actually approaching you beyond the bit of information that Anura had.
I'll take myself out of this role because I'm busy doing the thing.
I don't know that I have anything that will help me with this.
Straight roll for me.
Yeah, it's gonna be a straight roll for me as well.
Just remember, failures tell better stories than successes.
Oh, that's a hell of a failure.
I don't know, with perception that might not be the case. Hey, remember that time I didn't see the thing?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it looks like all of you have failed. Why don't you all take 1 XP? I feel bad.
Don't feel bad. It's the name of the game.
Oh, I feel good because you're going to need it.
Yay.
You can't see exactly what it is that is on top of the platform of this mechanical thing, but you can see that they seem to have weapons, and they don't look like... Have y'all ever seen abhumans? Those of you who don't know what the word means, these are monstrous humanoids. That's sort of the best way I can put it. They are smart. They will form together to work with one another, but they are not like people because they are dangerous most of the time. That's what is said, anyways. Do any of you know of abhumans?
Yeah, they're like extra human. You know what I mean? They're just stronger, faster, things of that nature.
That sounds like something an abhuman would say.
I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know what I'm saying?
I love
Never dealt with them.
I mean, Rick might have encountered them at some point.
I will say that those of you who have spent time in town, from hearing Hervin and Dale speak to one another and with you, and just in kind of the stories that have come through the town, Whitelake itself was once under attack by a roaming band of, I guess, roving? Are they roaming or roving? I don't know.
Roving.
A roving band of abhumans who hunt people to eat.
Nice. My kind of peoples.
I guess so. Maybe you're on the wrong side. Anyways.
Where did we find this guy?
He just kind of walked into town one day and started hanging out with everyone.
Everyone just seems to like me randomly. Yeah.
He found us, you know.
He's pretty
Admiral
friendly.
Akbar shows up, he yells, "It's a trap!" You're stuck with him.
You're Admiral Akbar.
I'm literally.
Man, if I had planned this out better, there would have been a trap down there.
Oh man.
And you could have seen it and warned people.
Yeah.
Oh, we missed an opportunity. Anyways, those of you who've lived in town have heard of things like this before. They don't seem to be people in the sense that they're traveling from one place to another. They're clearly up to no good. And I'm going to say that's probably the most you can discern from this distance. However, there's one further thing. They seem to be headed straight for you.
I'm going to pull out my cipher. I'm not sure exactly what the distance is for short range. I think it's under 10 feet, 15 feet, something like that.
Immediate range is 10 feet. I believe short range is 50 and long range is 100.
Okay, because this can be thrown for short range and explodes in an immediate radius.
50-50. Immediate radius or a short range radius. Right? Am I remembering the right cipher?
No, it can be thrown for short range. It explodes in immediate range. And then there's a 50% chance that it will explode in a short radius instead of immediate.
Right. So if you throw this, make sure to take a few extra steps back after.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah. Well, Kate is he's kind of moving towards it ahead of the group, assuming that they're going to stay back. This is why he came along. So he's moving towards the threat with his cipher in his hand.
Sure.
To get close enough to throw this.
Okay. They are fairly far away, so it's not like you won't be to where they are within a turn or even a few turns. They're about a half a mile away at this point. I will say, before you get close enough to throw it, you would be able to get close enough to see how many of them there are standing on this platform. This is the kind of, I will say the numbers are probably somewhere in the 50s, 50 or 60 abhumans, an abhuman warband, you might call them. They're armed to the teeth, and many of them are armored as well.
He'll be aiming for the mecha, doing cold damage. He wants to freeze up those mecha legs.
Okay. So
Can I throw some water in there to aid that?
Oh, totally.
Yeah, we're doing it.
I like that.
All right.
The two of you, you're not trying to sneak or anything, correct? Because they already they've seen your party at this point.
Yeah, they've seen us. We've seen them. We're just moving forward to make this first initial attack to try and slow them down.
Cool. I'm going to say to move within range to throw this, you will probably need to put yourself at risk from a ranged attack. So if you do this, I would like you to make a difficulty 3, speed defense, or might or speed defense, for a ranged attack, I think is what it is.
Okay. I am trained in might defense.
Okay. So that would take it down to a difficulty 2 for you then.
All right.
Anura, you are going to be making this roll as well if you're assisting.
Yeah. I'm gonna make it a speed.
Okay.
Which I have 1 edge in.
Sure.
Okay. And then it was a difficulty 4, you said, I think?
Yes. No, this is difficulty 3, sorry.
So it drops down to a 2. Yeah, okay. There you go.
Cool. So you're both able to, as you sort of get into position, you can see some of them are throwing javelins, some of them are using very crude bow and arrow type weapons. But the shots all sort of, they go wide of where you're actually standing. And you're able to, Caden, get close enough to make an attempt to throw your grenade or your cipher. It's not a grenade. We don't know what grenades are here. While Anura sort of sprays the general vicinity with how is this water spray look?
Yeah. So what does it look like when you throw it, Caden?
It's probably close to a grenade. There's a detonator, but delayed detonation button. I don't understand these things. I'm a clave. I don't understand crafting them, salvaging them. I don't understand them at all. It's beyond my capabilities. All I know is I push the big red button and I throw it.
And as she describes,
you learn the important parts.
Yeah, and as I see her doing that, I'm just gonna grab the water out of like my canteen or something, and then use that water to surround the grenade itself as she throws it.
Cool. Do you look like a wizard, sort of doing your?
Yeah, I do a few dance moves and things like that. There's a lot of pounding of the feet,
a little twerking.
Yeah. That's where the water comes from.
Okay, now that's an image I'm gonna have to get out of my head. So. It's the bleach.
What? You don't?
Good night, everyone. I had fun.
You're against twerking fish?
I wasn't until just now.
Yeah.
Okay. I would like you to. Oh, it's a cipher. I'm going to say you don't even have to make a roll for this. But Anura, I would like you to make a difficulty 3 intellect roll to sort of get this water in the most optimal place.
So, is it cool if I use speed because
it's a moving target.
And the motions of the hands. Yeah.
Totally.
And you said difficulty 3, so 2. Mm-hmm. No successes.
Would you like to spend an XP to re-roll?
I think I'm going to, because this is the first attack and it can take out their little Land Rover.
Sure.
There we go.
You got a success. Okay.
Yeah, so I have no XP now.
That's fine. That's perfect.
That's perfect.
Okay, so Caden, as this sort of, as you see Anura as you're sort of winding up to throw your cipher at the, I want to say, you find the weak point, which looks like the mechanical legs of this on one side. You think if you're able to get the device there, it will, at the very least, freeze those legs on that side. If it goes bigger than that, who knows what's going to happen. And as you do this, you see a spray of water come from the other side of where you're throwing, and it sort of coats all of the underbelly of this thing with a surprisingly thick, almost mucus-like, watery.
I twerked extra hard.
And so as you do this, the device explodes. And how much damage did it deal? Do you remember?
Equal to the cipher's level, which is a level 7.
That's some serious damage.
Is there any way that I can add something to the damage, like my damage with it?
I think that might make sense for something like this.
Or did you want to increase the size?
Ooh, I'll let y'all make that decision.
Do we roll for the
damage? No, you just deal it, I think.
No, do we roll whether or not there's a 50% chance that it'll explode short radius instead of immediate?
Go ahead and roll me a D100. If it's 50 or lower, it is going to be a small explosion. If it's 51 to 100, a big one. So
if the water is going to
change, big one.
If the water is going to change the size, right? Because it's adding the extra frost. It's frost, right?
Yeah.
Right, Kaden?
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold. It's cold.
So if that's the case, can I make it be intermediate to large as opposed to?
The problem with that is if you do that, you will be in the blast, because you have to be within a short range to throw it at the target. and you are also within that range to assist.
I'll let Kaden make the call.
I will say, if you can think of another way to bump it up, I'm open to that as well. Also, if you want to risk hurting yourself, that's totally cool too. I just assume you don't want to.
Kaden, more damage or bigger explosion?
Bigger explosion.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep, I rolled a 63, so it's going to go short radius. Anyways.
Okay,
So-
and that means it's going to be bumped up with Anura's help to a damn near 100-foot radius, which is
Right.
It's not.
Why is short smaller than medium?
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Words. It's just words. I don't know.
I think they just wanted to get away from using feet for every measurement, so they're like intermediate, short, and I don't know, whatever.
Which is good, right? Because that lets us.
I like theater of the mind personally, so it's sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Immediate is not the ideal word, but perhaps it'll still work. So yeah. Anyways, the explosion then.
Right. So as I throw it, it hits. We get this large explosion. Caden just turns around and just tackles Anura, dropping him on the ground, covering him to protect him because he's got armor.
Yeah, I don't.
How much armor do you have, Caden?
I got water.
I have one. I'm wearing a leather jerkin, so I have light armor.
Okay. I'm going to say because you're laying flat, that is going to. I'm not going to say it's going to prevent damage, but you're going to be taking significantly less than the people on the cart will be. Each of you take 2 damage. Your armor will take 1 away, Caden.
So I think I am skilled in unarmored for being a jack or something of that nature. What does that mean?
I think that gives you +1 armor, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure of that completely. So does that mean I only take 1 damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
If that, yeah, I'm okay with that. Even if that's not what the skill means, we can just move forward.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on up there?
Those of you who are watching from a distance, you see your 2 party members, Anura and Caden, sort of not gingerly, but sort of just kind of running toward this to make this happen.
Can we actually, because we're down the cliff, can we actually see where they're going? Or just that they've done something, they're running away?
I guess I forgot that y'all were sort of still down there. You hear commotion.
Yeah, we're still collecting eggs.
I thought we had climbed up to the top and had pulled Anora up already.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You guys were up on the top, and
Yeah, I'm still down there collecting eggs.
That's okay. If you're still down there, I'll tell you what you see. You hear a commotion of someone pointing something out. They're saying, "Hey, what is that?" And then you hear them running toward it. What you can see from there is a bright flash of light. It starts and then it dims for a brief moment, and then it explodes out, and you see like a wave of energy that sort of washes across the sky above you.
for some reason it starts to rain.
Yeah, I'll climb up the thing as quickly as possible.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as you do, you can see off in the medium distance, you can see what's happening. There seems to be now a frozen mechanical sort of platform with a roving band of abhumans on it. They've taken quite a bit of damage, but these are no humans. They actually have a great bit of armor, and they're fairly robust people. So it seems like they're still alive, wounded nonetheless, but they outnumber you at least 10 to 1.
Yikes.
As soon as the explosion is over, I pick up Anora and kind of toss them towards the rest of the group, and prepare to fight.
When I fly, I want to look like a dolphin out of water.
Actually, it's more kind of like skating on your belly across the water.
Yes.
You know, like a fish at the fish market when they hit the ice.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't like this.
I would like you to make a difficulty 3 intellect roll. This is going to be to remember something that one of the leaders of the town told you before you left.
Okay.
This is just for Brick, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Brick, you muted, by the way.
One success. Okay. Brick, you remember before y'all left, you had a long chat with Hervin, one of the town's leaders, about what to expect out here. Hervin said that he's been having strange dreams lately. That's the kind of thing that he pays close attention to because they tend to be important later on. So at the very least, he takes note of them, even when they don't matter. He mentioned something to you before you left about how if you notice anything out of place, to make sure to let the townspeople know if they were in danger.
Absolutely. I have a follow-up question to the explosion, if possible.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Did it break the thing or just freeze it?
It looks like the mechanical crawler, the 3 or 4 legs on one side where the explosion was based, they froze in place. And as the gears tried to keep moving, the mechanism for those legs actually shattered. And then the platform kind of tipped over on its side, spilling the abhumans out onto the ground. You can now get a pretty good look at all of them, and you can see that they're
Is the thing disabled or not?
Very much so.
Yeah,
okay. Wherever they go now, they won't be going on this. It's basically ruined at this point.
I was getting ready to use my cipher if it wasn't disabled.
Probably
They're
not a bad idea.
Yeah, they're on the ground and they're on foot.
Mm-hmm.
That evens the odds a bit.
They're still trying to struggle to stand up. I can say if you were to decide to flee, they would have a hard time catching you because they have to gather their things.
How
That's a lot
fast
of
can we
them.
flee with our pack animals?
Your pack animals can go about the speed of horses. So if it's like an emergency, you can whip them into about roughly. I'm not a horse expert, so please forgive me, folks, if you are. About 20 miles an hour would be something you could do with your equipment and everything loaded up. So you would be able to outrun them fairly easily if you were to try to.
I would like to let you know that a horse has 1 horsepower.
Good to know. But how much anine power do anine have? That's the real question. The answer is 1 also.
Oh, okay.
I think we need to get back to town to warn them.
Which direction are they coming from? Is this the direction to the town or the opposite direction?
They're coming from the southeast, so they're
Right.
kind of standing on the opposite side of. You are right in between them and the town, basically.
So if we wanted to go back to the town, they wouldn't be in the way.
Correct. And you would just merely have to take the time to do it. It would be evening, possibly early night by the time you get there, but you would definitely have time once you do it.
A lot of them we need to go back.
All right, so Caden gets everybody on the way. He's going to stay. He's going to take a position in the back. Once they're all moving, then he'll start following. But he's keeping himself between the abs and the group.
Cool.
I'll pick up the eggs and put them on my back.
Okay. The ones that you sent over the side of the mountain.
Yeah. I'm assuming Ozzy still has his though.
Yeah, I think so. You were able to climb up with them, no trouble, Ozzy.
Yeah.
Yep,
If you want to put them in the globe, you're more than welcome to.
Yep.
Cool. So all the eggs are in one basket.
Well, now that you put it that way, maybe you should.
It's fine. I'm not going to metagame that. I just thought the joke was funny, and it was funny.
It was, in fact, funny.
Good.
Clean to
You
that
get a
raft.
DM intrusion.
You don't get a DM intrusion. No, actually. Who is the? I'm going to say Brick. You're probably the most experienced with animal handling here, wouldn't you say? Being a hunter type person and outdoorsman, all of that. You can see that the Anine are sort of they're not freaking out, but they're skittish. The loud explosion sort of uneased them, and they seem to be having trouble focusing on going in the direction y'all want them to go, and quickly. So I would like you to sort of make a difficulty. Hold on, I'm gonna have to open up there. Oh wait, I have a tab. I organized myself and then forgot that I did it.
Welcome to my life.
Right. Make a difficulty 3 intellect roll. This is going to be to properly calm these animals down and make sure they travel safely with y'all riding them.
Done and done.
Okay. Yeah, that's definite success. You're able to get everything loaded up, and the animals are, as the group on the ground is sort of recovering, you make a couple of clicking sounds, and the creatures know that this means to go. And so you sort of direct them off back in the general direction of Whitelake, around the edge of the lake again.
I'm incredibly bad at riding land animals, by the way. Like that's yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and make it the same roll for yourself then, halfway through?
I regret everything.
Yeah, you made me do this.
You will. Yes, you will.
Oh man. I was just letting him know if he was next to me, just keep an eye on me, but now we gotta make rolls. All right. What am I rolling? What was the
difficulty 3, intellect.
I mean, can it be speed instead? I'm using my efforts to try to stay on it, right?
Yeah, I guess that could apply here too. Yeah, either one's fine.
Success.
Cool. Yeah, you're able to the way your body is shaped is just not conducive to sitting on a saddle. It's like, why would you not just put a container of water on top of this to sit inside of? You don't have to hold on to anything. But you struggle, but you're able to do it. You have a hard time understanding why people do this, though. It's not a fun way of travel.
Really, it's sore. I mean, I don't have bits, but I imagine if I did, they would hurt.
There's a perfectly good river we could be swimming through right now.
Right?
You could have made it back to town quicker than all of us.
Possibly.
Yeah, but I didn't want to leave you guys.
You would have had to swim across Whitelake. Yeah. It's a very deep lake. That's all that I'm going to say about Whitelake for those who've never been to the bottom. You're all able to make your way back to the aldea of Whitelake with no trouble. You get to town and it seems just quiet as it was when you left. People are expecting you to be returning with sacks full of eggs, and you are. What would y'all like to do?
Raiders.
Yeah, I go with break immediately.
Alarms.
Yep.
So you shout out that there's an approaching band of raiders, not ravers.
Well, that's
having a raid.
The ravers are coming.
Yeah.
Still reavers.
Still reason
It's
to run.
reavers.
Reavers.
Oh, Jesus.
Too soon.
Now we really run.
To be fair, I would totally enjoy playing a TTRPG of that world. Anyways,
There is one.
Oh, well, I'll look into that. As you sort of get back into town and shouting out warnings, you see the quiet town folks have mostly settled in for the evening. They start to peek out their doors when they hear the commotion of you approaching. Are y'all heading to Hervin and Dale, the leaders, to sort of see what they have to say?
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. You're able to get... Oh, what were you saying, Kat?
I was going to say, I think Caden would actually be keeping a watch out. He knows Brick is going to be going there. So Caden's going to kind of be standing just outside of town, watching to see where they are, how close they're getting, everything like that.
Sure. There's sort of toward the edge of the town itself where the compact urban buildings sort of give way to the fields and the farmlands that are between the town and the lake. You can sort of you find a spot where you're maybe on a little bit of a hill, and you can just kind of see like a nice wide panoramic view into the distance of where they would be approaching from. Why don't you actually go ahead and make us a difficulty 6 perception check, intellect. And this is going to be to, I guess it's going to be to sort of estimate how much time you have before the band is going to be arriving.
You need to start getting into the might rolls and stuff. I can't.
Yeah, I know.
All this intellect.
I want to use an XP for an intrusion.
Oh, a player intrusion. Okay, what are you thinking?
What I'm thinking is that Caden has kept watch here before. Caden he's familiar with the layout, with the landscape, what looks normal, what is abnormal. He knows what attackers moving through the grass look like. So I want to use my intrusion for him to automatically succeed on this because he knows what normal is. This isn't normal.
Sure. Okay, so yeah, that's totally fair. You're able to sort of you've done this before, not like this specifically, but you've been on lookout before for somewhat similar situations, you might say. And so you're posted up and your eyes are, scanning back and forth to look for, you see the patterns in the grass as they normally appear. And you would know if there's someone moving through them that's not supposed to. You don't see anything like that right now. You do see in the distance, estimating how far away or how much time there is between the Raiders and Whitelake City itself. You want to say there's maybe, if they're going the rate that they're going now for the whole trip, it would probably take them 3 hours to get here, because they don't have, at least 3 hours, you might say, because they don't have horses or a need to ride like y'all had. So there's plenty of time to come up with a plan.
All right.
And so the rest of you who are heading to Hervin and Dale, you do it quickly. They come out of their residence, noticing the commotion, same as everything else. Dale sort of wheels out and he sort of looks, he says, "What's going on out here?" Hervin looks directly at you, Brick, and he knows. He's like, "I knew this was going to happen. My dreams are usually accurate." What did you see, Brick?
Abhumans, about 50 or so, riding a big metal platform. We broke it, ran.
Platform. Did you happen to get a look at the leader? And I'm going to ask you, Brick, to make a difficulty 5 intellect roll. This is going to be to remember what if you could figure out what the leader was.
Can I aid him by saying Sean Connery, Jack Black, and then just randomly shouting out names of people?
I don't know. Would that be an aid or a hindrance?
That'd be a hit to make it a difficulty 6, I think.
In that case, so
I only rolled a 2 anyway, so we're good.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you weren't sure which one the leader was, but you did notice that there was one abhuman that was covered in particularly heavy-looking mechanical armor. It was very large, and it looked like it was covered in teeth, like the kind of teeth you would bite into a person with.
Not my kind of people.
Like functional teeth. like the armor is covered in mouths that will eat you. Anyways,
wearing armor of mechanical mouths.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it.
Welcome to Numenera.
If you describe this to Hervin and Dale gasps right away. He says, "Oh, no. It sounds like the same band that was here years ago. These are the ones that," and he looks down at his functionless legs. He says, these are the ones who took my legs."
If I kill this guy, I'm taking his armor.
You have a lot of guts to wear armor like this. Gotcha, Bob. So Hervin and Dale say, "Well, we need to come up with a plan. What do we do? The town's not defensible. We're pretty much the only people here who know how to fight. There's but 10 of us total. The rest are just plain town folks. Children.
I have a plan.
What's your plan?"
If we can clear a fire break, I'll set the grass on fire.
Ooh,
and I can soak everything around the town, so this way the town doesn't catch.
Interesting.
Or I can also spend 10 minutes per person making them a weapon. We have 3 hours, so I don't think I could do both.
Yeah. Essentially, I can...
I'm fine without the weapon.
I can light myself on fire for 10 minutes, cover myself in flames. And it doesn't burn me, but it automatically inflicts 2 points of damage to anyone who tries to touch me or strike me with a melee attack. I can just flame on and set the grass on fire if we can create a fire break.
Okay. You all also know... Oh, and I actually need to change to the city map. Sorry about that. Here's to town map. Okay, so here's an image of the town. It's not a small town. There, as we mentioned, about 1,500 people. here at the center of it, though, if you notice these triangular shaped dark gray buildings, the map you may have to zoom out pretty far to see it if it's not fully displayed for you. Toward the center of the town is an Aeon temple. This is where the local priests if you're not familiar with the Aeon priests, they are experts on Numenera. They are experts on ciphers. They're experts on the previous worlds before the 9th era that you're living in now. The Aeon temple itself also conveniently has a wall. It is one of the only structures in town with a wall that could be said to be defensible. It would probably be a good place to get the people to go for safety. It'll be very crowded in there, but they will be safe from being directly attacked, at least as long as the walls hold.
The order doesn't like my people.
That's okay. You have known from being in this town that the priest who lives here is not of the kind that will automatically disqualify someone just for being not a human. Yeah. This place is in the beyond, so the typical rules of the order don't necessarily always apply out here. The priest recognizes the realities of living out here requires dealing with a lot of strange people, strange things, and getting into fights doesn't help anyone. So Hervin and Dale sort of suggest that the townspeople are all moved to the Aeon Temple. Do y'all have any other thoughts or any other plans you'd like to sort of work on implementing in the time you have between now and then?
Are there any barriers we could build?
I think the town is just too spread out for it to be of any real use. Perhaps you could focus your defenses on, say, arming people inside of the Aeon Temple so they can maybe throw rocks down onto the invaders from above, or perhaps burning oil or something of that nature. More like a fortress defense than you would. Anywhere in the outside of the town, there's just too many buildings and they're too spread out.
Listen, this place is pretty big, and there's only 50 of them. I'm just,
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I assume there will be some a little weapon store we can hand out to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there is. There's at least one or two.
If not now, hoes and pitchforks and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think in pure numbers should drive them away at this point.
Yeah, well, for 1,500, some of the people, instead of some of the people that are used to using the farm tools implements like that, Caden's going to grab them and make a work team, and again start creating a fire break in the grass.
Okay,
is about 8 feet wide, and just clear that off so that if they have to do that.
Sure. And luckily, most of that side of town is kind of already, it's already farmland. So a good chunk of it has already been, sort of turned over. The dirt is not difficult. It's not like you're digging into dry clay or anything like that. So the workers are able to move quickly when they do this.
Yeah.
So you get about, I want to say, like 100 farmers together. Maybe not 100, but close to that. And you're sort of furiously digging along the edges of town where these creatures are going to be approaching from. Why don't I'm going to have you roll for everyone who's doing this, just you, Caden. This is just going to represent the group effort, and feel free to apply effort or anything like that, and it'll apply to everyone.
So if you're helping, that should be an asset?
Yes, if you are also helping, this is going to be an asset. This is a tremendous task, though. So the base difficulty is going to be difficulty 7 to complete this before they arrive.
So
which would mean a 21 or higher.
I have a question. Am I making weapons, or am I working on making sure the place doesn't light up?
Well, I can actually do that because I have an artifact that is a device that sprays inanimate objects to make them fire resistant.
Cool. All right,
so I'm going to use my artifact as an asset to aid in doing this.
Okay. And Onura, I'll say that that this town has a weapons shop, so it might be faster just to go grab some off the shelf than to create them.
I mean, I can tell people to go get weapons and then start distributing them, and then make weapons for what they can't. Right? Because I can make literally a weapon every 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
That lasts for like 28 hours or something.
Are they made of water?
Yeah, it literally is water, right? Like that's what. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so I'm going to let you do that. Why don't you, Anura, make me a difficulty 5 intellect roll. And yeah, actually, just roll me a d20. I'm going to say that this is good. The number on the dice is going to be how many weapons you're able to create in the time it takes. It's a non-standard roll, but I'm not sure what to do here, so...
Non-standard situation.
Very much.
Do the Aeon Priests have any sort of Numenera that are hidden away that could help in the situation?
Ooh, they do. In fact, if you talk to the priest about it, he says we should probably find anyone who knows how to use these things. He looks around at the rest of the townsfolk. He's like, not most of the people here. I'm looking at you guys. And I would like to. I'm going to draw a cipher for each of you now. This is going to represent the ones that the Aeon Priest is able to gather during the time that you have before the raiders arrive. So let me just draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will tell you who gets what after I do it.
Do you want me to still do the roll for the fire break?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I've got an asset using my artifact, and I'm going to apply some effort to that, and I have an edge of 1 to might.
Okay. So your first level of effort will only cost 2 points instead of 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that takes it from a DC 7. With those 3 things, I'm going from a DC 7 to a
4.
Excellent. Let's do this.
12 or higher. Oh, would you like to re-roll for 1 XP?
Yes.
And also, I should point this out since it's a strange rule for a lot of people. Anyone can spend XP to have any die in the game re-rolled. So don't feel like if it's not your die, it's not your place to butt in. If you think something might want to happen, feel free. So you're going to burn the XP to re-roll it then?
Yep.
Cool. Oh, man. You may do it multiple times. I don't like to encourage addictive gambling behavior. However... It is possible.
I am out of XP.
You can
use 1 for the intrusion.
Brick is going to donate 1.
Okay.
So feel free to roll again. All right.
Thank you, Brick.
I wanted y'all to do that. That's good. You're going to hit him hard with fire and ice today, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ozzy.
We'll make a song out of it.
Oh, how about a book?
I might not be generally useful, but I can donate XP to make other people useful, which is great.
Oh, you're going to be really, really useful in like 5 minutes.
Ozzy, roll a d6 for me.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, there was a space in between.
Oh, 4. Okay, so you get, this is one of the weird things where, oh, no, this one does matter. Okay. You get a teleporter. User teleports up to 100 times the cipher level in feet to a location you can see. You arrive safely with your possessions, but can't take anything else with you. So you get a 400-foot teleportation. Okay, and Brick, you receive, roll a 1d6 plus 4 for me. Oh boy.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so you get a level 10 coma detonation. Explodes in a patterned flash of pale yellow gas in an immediate radius. Living creatures in the area fall unconscious for a number of rounds equal to the cipher level or until violently slapped awake or damaged. So it's like a sleep grenade. Okay.
Well, that's going to come in handy.
It really might.
That makes me happy.
Caden, roll a 1d6 for me. 5. Okay. You receive a level 5. How's that said? Quadraturin. A level 5 quadraturin. When applied to a surface, this device expands the space around that surface. For example, making an interior room larger. Can expand to the area of about 10 feet by 10 feet. Okay, so depending on, yeah, it's probably easier for you just to read that than me to read it out loud. Anura, you go ahead and roll me a 1d6 plus 1.
Oh, I was reading something.
Oh, sorry, it's all good.
I was trying to look for a rule. I apologize.
That's okay. 1d6 plus 1.
Sure. 7. Hey, holla at your boy.
I don't get the joke. But you, however, receive a level 7 explosive implant. Once this substance enters the bloodstream, it travels to the brain and reorganizes into an explosive that detonates when activated via a detonator. Must be within long range. Inflicting 10 points of damage that ignores armor.
On me?
No.
Oh. I was like, I don't want this at all. No,
I am going to say that you can apply this to anyone within 50 feet, and you can detonate it within 100 feet.
So I got a brain bomb.
Yeah.
Cool spot.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so we are running low on time, so I am going to fast
We've
forward.
got an hour. We've got an hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought we had 2 hours, not 3. Sorry. Oh, well, never mind. Things are different. Okay, so yeah, the digging goes well. Everything is able to be there's like a fairly medium trench between the exterior of the city and the farmlands around it, aided in part because the farmland has already been tilled, so the dirt's a lot easier to move around. On one side, there's just fields of plants. It's springtime, so, they're not like dry or anything like that necessarily, but anyone who's an expert with fire, which I imagine someone who bears a halo of fire probably would be, you understand that what are the right conditions to be put into place, the right conditions being your special abilities in this case. This whole field is going to burn. It's going to be tragic for the city because, a lot of the food they eat is going to be coming from these fields, and the crop for this year is going to be destroyed. There are enough eggs at the lake where the people will get by, though.
And he's got the artifact. He's going to be using his artifact to save as much of this as he can. If he can move past the fields, the edge of the fields, to create that break and spray as much of it as he can with his artifact, that's what he's going to do. He wants to save as much as he can because this is his home too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that totally makes sense then. It's pushed back a little further than I originally imagined, so it's toward the edge of the fields then, not far from where the lake sort of meets the road that leads into town. And so you're able to, with the help of, dozens of farmers and other strong, able-bodied people, you're able to get this trench dug, and trench is not really, it's not as deep as a trench, but it's a fire break, as you said. It's deep enough to prevent the flames from jumping from one side to the other. And y'all are able to do it with no trouble. It looks like by the time you finish, there may be, 20 minutes, 30 minutes before the band of raiders gets to where you're at. All of the townsfolk are sort of the ones who were able to get into the Aeon Temple, and they're sort of huddled for safety.
Yeah, Caden is just standing at the fire break. He's lit the grass, he's sent them back. He's lit the grass on the side towards the oncoming abhumans and is waiting for them there.
Okay, so the grass is already burning?
Actually, no, I think he's gonna, how fast is it gonna spread?
The way the wind's blowing, it's kind of blowing in such a direction to where the fire would, luckily for you, be going away from the town anyways, so it would be spreading outward pretty fast. I would say if you were willing to wait until they were within a long range, you feel like you could trap them in the fire. Like you could literally set the grass on fire and it would spread around them and eventually just like encircle them in flames until they are part of the fire.
Okay, because this ability lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay.
He stays shrouded in flames for 10 minutes, so he wants to kind of find that balance there.
Okay.
We could try to just pure intimidation at this point, right? surround them in fire. I can blow someone's brain open in the middle of the thing so everyone sees it and gets covered in brain matter.
Poke people's brains as well.
Yeah, Brick just dives in like a wild man.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
I don't even need weapons.
I mean, I can make you
I
one.
hunt with no weapons.
What kind of weapon do you need? I got you.
Well, I mean, I have weapons. I just don't need them.
Oh.
I took that feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
It's a neat feature.
And I get to add the fire damage to the hit too,
Oh man.
which is nice. Yeah.
Could Brick? I wanna wait where they're gonna be coming from, and I wanna be ready with my coma grenade. So if there's a cluster of them that break through the fire, I wanna be ready.
Ready with what? The voice cut out for just a sec.
Sorry, my coma grenade.
Okay. Oh yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Is there anything else y'all would like to do in the very few moments you have? The townspeople seem to be safe, so there's not necessarily anything in town that needs your attention. I was just curious, is there any other traps you'd like to try and spring, or any other last-minute plans or ideas?
I'm going to get on top of a roof to have a better
Sure.
view. A better
Yeah,
angle.
you're able to find a ladder. Say, there's maybe a large-sized inn that's toward the edge of town on that particular side that you're hoping to be on. So you're able to get up onto the roof. Maybe you're within a short distance. It's not taller than 50 feet.
I'm gonna.
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna sit on top of a roof as well, and I'm gonna just start crafting myself daggers.
Okay. For throwing?
Yeah.
Okay. And Kate, what were you saying?
I want to do my recovery.
Okay. Yeah. Feel
Take an
free.
action to recover.
Totally.
And I can't remember what I roll for that.
It is D6 plus your tier. So at this it would be 1. D6 plus 1.
Okay. And then I get to add 1 to the points that I regain because I'm a healthy specimen.
Correct.
Okay.
Look at that.
Oh,
Keep in
I
mind
had a
for
lot of
new
fun.
players also, if you need to recover in the middle of a battle, you can do so as an action once per day. Once per minute after that, I think it is, and then once per hour, and then once per
It's 10 minutes. The second one is 10 minutes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So there are opportunities for you to regain points into your pools during this conflict if it becomes important to be able to do that. Just wanted to remind you.
Yeah, it's 1 action, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 10 hours, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's better than nothing.
All right, it's game time. By the way, I have no affiliation with this city, and I have all the eggs. So
Sorry, I'm reading a message from Mike.
We remember you.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Only you. Forest fires.
Yeah. Caden's just gonna, as soon as they're like within intermediate range, he's gonna flame on and light it up.
Cool.
Go, Johnny Storm.
So they get to within. You think this is actually to time this correctly? Why don't you make a difficulty 4 intellect roll, or a speed roll? Take your pick.
Okay, because to do this, it's an enabler and it costs me 1 intellect point to do it.
Okay, and you have edge in intellect, correct?
No, I do not. I only have edge in speed and might.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
can I, sitting on my top and using my spyglass, can I aid her in this, in her timing? Because I'm keeping lookout from a high vantage point and I can see further.
Yeah, I think it would be an asset for something like that. So it would go from a 4 down to a 3.
I got you.
Any other assets that would maybe be said to apply that you can think of? Maybe not. Okay, so yeah, 9 or higher on the D20 will get you a success. And it's not a pass or fail. There may be degrees of failure if you don't pass.
Well,
So don't feel like if you fail, it's just going to be nothing happens.
It's a fail. That's a 2.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, just be lucky it wasn't a natural one.
Yeah. Be lucky we're not playing Call of Cthulhu.
I'm going to say that as this happens, you set the fire. However, right after you do, the wind shifts just enough to where it kind of starts to go off to the side and not directly toward the band anymore.
Can I GM intrusion to change the wind, or GM player intrusion to change the wind?
Can I GM intrusion in your games? You can absolutely player intrusion.
Yeah, I'll player intrusion with my only XP.
Cool. So yeah, you sort of shift the winds back in the direction that they're supposed to be, and the fire seems to be then spreading around the band of abhumans. You hear them. One of them lets out if you had to characterize the sound, it would be perhaps a worried croak. They're clearly surprised by this counterattack, you might say, as they're approaching you. And as this happens, you see in the center of this band, there's this is the one brick that you noticed before. This is a little bigger than the other ones, covered in the armor with the teeth.
You mean my armor?
Your soon-to-be armor. I gotta say, people will certainly respect you more if you wear that thing around town. And
better.
Right. You see the one. This is it sort of shouts and points. You're not sure what it said. It wasn't speaking a language that you know. It wasn't the truth. However,
Surely is lying.
Well, perhaps. The other creatures, the abhumans and mutants that are with her, I almost said her, and I was like, I don't know if this is a he or a she. It's kind of just a thing. They sort of take note of what the creature said, and they start to. It looks like they sort of gather in closely to the leader in the very thick armor, and you see it sort of look down into its pouch and grab something. It looks like a cipher or a Numenera of some sort.
Oh.
It presses.
How far away is?
Oh, yeah. How far?
How far? Let's see. If y'all are on the roof, these guys are probably, I want to say, like 100 feet away from you.
I'm going to use my water to throw the device out 50 feet and then use the other 50 feet to blow his brains up.
Wait. Say that again?
I'm going to grab some water. I'm going to float it around the device. Hold it.
You mean the device that the
brain explodey?
Oh, got you. Okay.
I'm going to throw it 50 feet and then I'm going to just impact him with it for 50.
Okay.
And then blow his brains up before he hits the button.
Okay. Ooh.
Can I do that?
I am going to GM intrusion you.
Okay.
If you accept the intrusion, you can do it, but something bad's going to happen to you.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I don't know what he's about to do, but I don't want to see it.
Sure. You get 1 XP, and you can choose one other person to give 1 XP to.
I'll give it to Brick because he's about to go ham.
Brick's about to go ham.
Yeah. He's going to need the rerolls.
He's about to drop a brick.
Yeah. Well, maybe, hopefully not. But
I'm taking us to new levels here.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see just as this creature sort of starts to prepare to activate this cipher of its, you hit it. The device clangs right onto the outside of this heavy metal plate, and you can see the implant itself has like a laser drill on it that's trying to crawl inside of the hole it's making in the armor as it tries to dig deeper into the skull of whoever this is. And eventually it gets to a point where it shoots a small injector in through the temple or something like that, and it lets its explosive nano whatevers, I don't have a proper word for what they are right now.
I'm imagining the Sentinels from the Matrix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They look like that. Or like the one that crawls into his tummy.
Yeah.
The tummy crawler.
Yeah, the tummy crawler.
I just wanted to
Tummy
make
crawler,
everyone...
scientific term.
Yep.
Now I'm sick to my stomach. Okay.
You did it.
Damn it. I could have intruded this away, and instead I made it happen. Yeah, so the device implants itself firmly in the skull of this creature. You notice that it's attached, and I believe you can trigger the explosion at any time. Okay, you click it right away, and immediately the helmet itself, it doesn't explode. You hear the sound of an explosion. However, the helmet, it balloons out like a mushroom cloud and just stays in one place. A red purplish mist sprays out the eye holes and the mouth hole. The cipher is no longer being activated, but it is being held up in the air by the hand that was about to press the button. It looks like the creature in the armor is standing totally, perfectly still, but you can't see what's going on inside. However, based on the shape of the helmet, you would guess that anything that was
Jiffy Pop.
Anything that was inside of there, it kind of looks like the top of a stovetop popcorn after it expands. There is nothing good going on inside of the head of whatever was in that. And it looks like the creature itself has stopped moving.
I'm going to bellow out my throat and just let out a really loud croak.
Okay. This croak sort of, you're still standing on the roof, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. This croak sort of, I don't know how to make a croaking sound, but like your neck expands and balloons out. Yeah, I guess a ribbit is a good way to do it. It's almost like that's what people already said, and I just didn't think about it. Your neck sort of bulbs out in a way that you can sort of, the skin sort of stretches and becomes almost translucent. You can see the internal organs of your neck as you do this, and it lets out like a very deep, echoey croak that you think. You've never been, miles away from yourself when you do it, but you're pretty sure people can hear this from miles away.
I have once, but it required a lot of underground seaweed.
Yeah. You're lucky the seaweed didn't eat you.
Yeah.
So the creatures sort of note your croaking sound, and it looks like the abhumans they're not panicking. These aren't the kind of creatures that panic is like a thing that they could ever possibly feel. But they look like they're very, very disorganized, and they are now encircled with fire. Within moments, they're going to start taking damage from it, and probably will be making their best efforts to flee. Is there anything y'all would like to do? Oh, what were you saying, Britt?
How many of them are in that little cluster there, roughly?
I'm going to say there's probably it was most of the band of 50. They kind of, whenever the leader motioned that it was about to use the cipher, the other abhumans knew to get as close as possible. So they're all all 50 of them, 50-ish, maybe 49 now, are sort of bundled up in I want to say a 20 or 30 foot area, something like that. They're very closed in, as close together as they can be to sort of back away from the fire. But at this point, they're almost surrounded.
How far can I throw an object?
Ooh, by default, I know you can do a short range. I will let you take a penalty if you want to try and throw further than that. So I would say it's the opposite of an asset. I forget the word that you use.
Hindrance?
Hindrance. It would be a hindrance of one level for you to throw further than a short range, which would be up to 100 feet away. And that's about how far they are from where you're standing. Would you like to make that attack?
Does it cost me an XP to aid him? Or can I just aid him?
If you'd like to do a player intrusion and guarantee what he does is a success, that would be an XP. If you just want to help out, that would be an asset for free.
Just want to help out. Using the heat of the flames that's rising up, because things travel farther in that thinner air of the heat, so that he will be able to go the extra distance he needs to go.
Okay. So Brick, I would like you to make, this is going to be a difficulty 4 by default. So with the added hindrance, it would be difficulty 5 for the extra range. And with Caden helping you, that takes it back down to a difficulty 4. Do you have any assets that would be said to apply to ranged attacks? Or I'm assuming you're throwing your coma grenade, correct?
Yes, I have. Okay. I do have combat prowess ability that gives me +1 to range or melee, and I picked range.
Cool. That definitely applies. So that takes it down to a 3. which would be a 9 or higher. If also you would be able to apply effort if you feel like you want to spend points from one of your pools for this. I think the speed pool would be for a ranged attack.
Well, as far as just hurling this, could I use might and use my 1 edge on might?
I think that's okay in this case, since it's more about the distance and less about being, deadly accurate. That makes sense. So if you want to use from your might pool instead, that's cool. It would be 2 points instead of 3 for the first level of effort.
Okay, so explain to me how this works again here. So I just take 2 points out of my pool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, your might pool also kind of represents your hit points. So if you spend too much out of it, you're going to be at risk of taking the critical damage, I should say. But 2 points from your might pool would be enough to do this.
2 points from my might pool, and this would do
It
what to
lowers
the
it
roll?
to a difficulty 2, which would be a 6 or higher.
And what would my edge do?
Your edge, what edge does, it decreases the cost whenever you spend from a pool. So if you have to do something that uses points from your might pool, each time you do that, you subtract your edge from that.
Okay, so this costs me 2, lowers it to a DC 2.
Yep.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look like you're able to throw it quite far enough unless someone would like to spend XP to reroll.
I will spend my second one to reroll.
Absolutely worth it. I think this is a pretty big cipher here.
I'll do it. Use mine.
I think he said he was already using his.
I was in the bathroom. It's not fair.
That's okay. He rolled the same number on his second roll.
I'll give him mine.
Not done yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought
No, I haven't rerolled yet.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you'd like to, feel free.
Don't mess this up. I don't want to use mine. Really?
I'm glad I foresaw the number 2 coming up again.
You jinxed me. That was terrible.
Roll it a third time. Pick mine.
Okay, so it's not just me. I'm glad.
Yeah.
All right, Jesus hates us all.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a 2 this time, I quit the game.
The
I
dice don't
barely
lie.
made it. I made it with an 8. We're good.
All right.
Oh.
Hey.
Yes.
Okay, so I forget the details of exactly what this cipher did, but I'm going to say you're able to get it right where you need to, where the group of them, you sort of lug it, and as it sort of flies above their head, it blows up right at the right exact time that it needed to sort of the wave sort of blasts out downward from the devices you throw it above them, and they immediately fall over, and they look like they're unconscious. The armored figure is still standing straight, but not moving.
All right. Yeah, it makes everyone there is unconscious for 10 rounds.
10 rounds. Okay, so y'all have a bit of time to figure something out here.
Can we fan the fires into them and just light them on fire?
It's almost that is sort of the track that they're on at this point without any intervention from you.
Can we make it go faster?
Yeah. Well, maybe. How would you like to try and make it go faster, I guess is the question.
I don't know.
Caden.
As you say, give me the fiction.
Yeah, Caden, give him the fiction.
Caden, Caden, does the fire out there hurt you right now?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. I'm going to use some Patrick Rothfuss bullshit here. All right. So, Shroud of Flame, the fire does not burn me, but it automatically inflicts 2 points of damage to anyone who tries to touch you, strike you. Flames from another source can still hurt you. If this is a fire I've set, is it flames from another source?
That's a question for the ages, isn't it?
While the Shroud is active, I also gain plus 2 points of armor that will protect only against damage from fire from another source.
Okay, that last line makes me think that your own fire shouldn't hurt you.
Okay.
We're using the word source maybe more liberally than was intended, but I think it in this case is totally fine. So your own flames, because of the nature of the way your fire works, it's special. It's not just fire. This is fire that is attached to your mind. You can control it in some ways that, normally fire just dances. This fire dances with you. So you can lead it.
I am going dancing through the flames with my cipher. And when I get close to the edge of the flames and close to these people, close to these attackers, I'm going to apply it to the surface that's on fire in front of me, and so that it expands the space around the surface. And
you're going to basically enclose them in fire at that.
Yes.
It'll be the fire that now encircles them will wash over them.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah, that is exactly what happens to these abhumans who are now comatose on the ground. You sort of see them as the fire sort of washes over them. They awaken, but it's not fast enough for them to be able to get out. So it looks like it's a very gruesome scene to anyone who's watching, but there is an abhuman barbecue happening just outside of the field, just outside of town, and they seem to be stopped.
Caden is somewhat inured to this. He's spent time in prison for doing this to people. So,
Rick used to hunt people. I'm good.
I'm getting ready to throw my water daggers in case the fire spreads in a direction we don't want it to.
It's a good call.
Yeah.
Thanks for the idea. GM intrusion time.
I mean, I already got the water daggers.
I know this is why I'm not feeling bad about doing this immediately afterwards. It looks like the fire, due to the it's not like you don't have control over it, Caden, but like it's kind of a wild thing too. So like you can suggest where the fire should go. It's much like leading an onion to water. You can't really make them drink if they don't want to. The fire is sort of similar, and there are bits of it that during the fury, it seems like it's getting excited about being fire, just the same way you get excited about fire being fire. It loves doing this, and so it starts to spread out a little bit, and it looks like it's maybe licking over the edge of the fire break a little bit, potentially getting close to one of the fields.
Someplace where I didn't spray because it's moved past that.
Yeah,
area.
it's like the intensity of it just ramped up so much that the preparations, no one could have foreseen how much you like burning things.
So I'm going to make sure the eggs are out of my globe, my water globe, and I'm going to jump down with the daggers in hand. And I'm just going to start chucking as I run towards it.
Okay. And yeah, these daggers, as you throw them, they get to within like a few inches of like a spot where it's starting to catch on fire, and the water itself just sort of splashes into it. And like as it does, the parts where you hit are extinguished. I would like you to make a difficulty 3 speed roll to sort of to catch them all.
Mm-hmm. You
gotta catch them all.
Yeah. Fireman. I'm going to reduce this by 1 with the edge.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to use, just to make sure, I mean, I guess that drops it to a 2. I can just roll. Yeah, 18. I believe that's a minor effect.
I think that in combat would deal extra damage.
Oh, it's 19 is the minor effect.
Outside of combat, it's 19 or higher. However, you're able to succeed with very little trouble. Your skills with manipulating water are top rate. And you're able to sort of contain the wild flames from Caden's pyromania.
So that was a GM intrusion that she got, right?
I think it was. Yeah, go ahead and take 1 XP, and then feel free to give 1 XP to someone else. Cat.
I'm gonna give it to Ozzy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ozzy,
Thank you.
oh, I was just gonna ask Ozzy, what is Timo doing during all of this?
I'm waiting for something to come in range.
Okay.
The only things I can do are in short range.
Gotcha. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you feel, it seems like most of the opposition, except for the motionless armor suit, has been completely
That's fine.
immobilized.
It looks like they have everything under control. So I'm just staying where I am.
Sure. You're able to keep some of the maybe less experienced farmer villager type people. You're maybe helping keeping them calm by how calm you seem. They're like, oh, this went much better than we expected. Awesome. And sort of Hervin and Dale are sort of standing around, maybe not up on the roof with y'all or anything like that, but they're sort of surveying the situation from a safe spot, and they can see that it seems to be in control. The fires eventually burn out, and you're left with a pile of abhuman charred flesh and a standing suit of metal armor that seems to be not red hot, but hot to the touch. If you were to touch it, it would burn you.
Well, it's been standing in fire for a while. And
Yeah,
correct.
Or functions kind of like a Dutch oven.
Yeah.
Anyone hungry?
Brick is going to get some heavy cloth or something like that so he can grab the armor and start dragging it into town and start peeling the crispy critter out of it.
Okay. I'm going to need you to make a might check to even move this thing. Because when I say suit of armor, I guess I may be not quite giving the full and accurate description. It is like a tank. It is like a suit of armor. Yes. So you could tip it over and it will crash and thud into the ground, and then you're going to need someone's help.
I'll help you with that.
Okay. Both of you, I would like you to make actually one of you, Brick, make a difficulty 6 strength check. This is a heavy, heavy piece of armor. If you would like, you could also consider finding an expert on Numenera to help you open it up and get inside of it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's find someone who can help me do that.
Ozzy sort of notices you struggling with this advanced piece of technology.
Yeah.
Over here with a rock like an otter trying to open up a shellfish.
He looks like a caveman. What's going on? I can't believe the city trusts you with hunting.
I'll scan the thing.
Okay.
Well, not Numenera.
That's true. Yeah, so you sort of look over. Did you say you scan it? Like, do you have an actual device that does this, or you just?
No, this is my nano esoteric.
Got you. Okay, what does the esoteric do specifically? I don't remember.
So it's scan. You can scan an area equal in size to a 10-foot cube, including all objects or creatures within that area. Scanning a creature or object always reveals its level. You also learn whatever facts the GM feels are pertinent about the matter and energy in that area.
Okay.
And, for example, also what's inside it.
Are you sure you want to know the answer to that question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I know everything I need to know to give you the information then. This is an artifact. This suit of armor is not... It's not just something you could go to a blacksmith or an armor smith and have them craft for you. This is a Numenera artifact. The device itself, there's a series of buttons on the back that you have to press in a certain way, and it gets the suit sort of...
It's important, it won't necessarily tell me how it works.
Got you. Okay.
It will tell me what it is, what's inside it, but not exactly how it works.
Okay.
Well, we already know what's inside of it.
Yeah. You can make a pretty estimated guess there. There is a series of buttons on the back of it. You're not sure what the combination is, but you suspect that is probably the way to open the device and climb inside of it. It itself is a artifact suit of armor. It is heavy armor. If you were to wear it, it would provide... Hang on, let me get my GM cheat sheet here. Where did I put it?
Is it on a tab?
No, it's literally...
Yeah. Don't check it.
No, I got the Discovery and Destiny hardback books. So,
I'm also trained in identifying and understanding the Numenera.
Okay, cool. That will definitely help you.
So the scan will tell me the bits, and then my training will tell me how they actually work.
Gotcha. Okay, so it is a suit of heavy armor. There may be benefits to it beyond that, but it seems to be mechanized in such a way where the power of the suit itself moves the pieces at the will of whoever's driving it. Beyond that, you will have to make another level 6 intellect roll to understand the Numenera and understand how to use it.
Okay, let's try this.
Okay.
So,
And I'm going to say your skill is going to count as an asset for this, so it goes down to difficulty 5 for sure.
yeah, I'm trained. I'm going to spend effort. That's a level 4. And let me see something else.
Can my beating on it with the rock be an asset?
I'm going to say, despite your rock beating, he's not affected by what you're doing.
Is it safe to assume that we've won the battle?
The battle is won. However, there is a discussion
It's a
to be
4.
had. A 4?
I won.
Oh no! You're sort of as you're sort of looking over this device and trying to. You're not
I'll offer an XP for a reroll.
I'll spend an XP to reroll that.
Okay. I wasn't gonna ask because I kind of wanted this to get destroyed, but
We don't want brick in this thing.
Nope, still not. But it's not. At least not a 1.
I will offer an XP for a reroll if Ozzy chooses.
another real. If you'd like to do another one, you're welcome to try.
Is there an Aether Priest that can aid him in this?
He is huddled in fear for his life outside, right, or inside the temple right now.
For what? We won.
He doesn't. This was moments ago, so.
I suppose, yeah.
Nope.
Oh no! Okay.
We are really good at role playing.
But I'm using my own final XP to do the final reroll.
Okay.
4.
If it's a natural 1,
Something my brain explodes.
He gets an intrusion.
No, 13.
Okay. I'm glad I drained all y'all's XP though. That's good.
I think Brick still has some.
Oh, maybe.
No, I've used both of mine.
So no one has any then. Good. Okay, so you sort of struggle quite a bit to sort of understand this artifact.
Yeah, this technology I've not seen before. I know sort of what it does, but not exactly how it works.
Right. And you know mostly, and everyone else really, you don't really have to look and understand to say, keep your fingers away from the chattering teeth. They will bite you. So anyways, you're able to eventually sort of discern what the correct sequence of buttons is to press, and you kind of like how in Fallout 4, how the power armor opens up from the back and leaves you with a place to go stand, and it will, if someone were to do that, it would close behind them, and most of the motion of the armor itself is handled through just sensing through your brain what you want your body to do, and then the armor itself will do its best to emulate that with its own limbs.
Yeah, can you make the sound again? I didn't catch it the first time.
Which sound? Was that what I did? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Let's have a check.
Cool.
I didn't know if it was a or a.
It may be a little of both. It's hard to do both sounds at once with only one mouth.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
The suit of armor has so many mouths, though. They all make that sound whenever you... It's like the teeth are closed, but when you press the button to open up the entryway, all of the mouths open up. And the back of it, a big mouth opens up that you step into if you want to.
It could have been worse. It could have sighed. Like in a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when the doors open.
So there seems to be... Brick, are you stepping into the armor?
Well, I'm assuming it doesn't have a helmet piece anymore since that ballooned out.
Oddly enough, the helmet is still there. And it's like, it's like stretched out in a weird way, but the eye holes are also blown out, so you can kind of see through it.
You're just gonna be like this.
Inside of it is covered with like a layer of some very disgusting looking liquid.
We might want to get the pressure washer first.
Yeah.
Somebody call me.
Get the pressure washer first.
Does somebody call me?
Yes.
Do you want to give it a spray?
Yeah. I'll take the water from his canteen though.
I'm going to take the large beef jerky out of the suit before.
What's left of it, it's kind of like most of what was inside of there was kind of liquefied, but like the skeletal structure and the little bit of messy goop kind of all like pile out as you sort of like you pull it, but it's more like it just kind of falls apart onto the ground.
This is the true boss here cleaning this thing.
I'm
going to attack it with my water dagger.
I'm
joking.
Okay, I was gonna say it's dead without needing to.
No, I mean cleaning it. I was gonna with my water.
Oh, got you.
He's attacking this messy job with his water dagger.
It's a dirty job. Yeah, go for it, Micro. You don't actually have to do anything to make this happen.
No.
The inside is cleaned as best as it can be. Brick, you notice it still has a bit of a smell. Can't clean the smell out.
That's fine. It's just water.
Well, the person who wore
this
this suit was maybe wearing it for a year or two without really changing their clothes or anything like that. So it's kind of like more like, think of the worst BO possible.
I feel like Brick already has
lighted on fire.
Yeah. I feel like Brick already has the worst BO.
No, not the worst. Maybe now that this guy's dead, maybe the worst.
You're up there. Yeah, so you're able to sort of, if you like, step into the suit of armor and return to the center of town where people are sort of, they've begun to exit the Aeon Temple, thinking that the town is safe for the time being.
Yeah, I'll get in.
Cool. The people around you, they seem fearful at first because, wow, what a scary suit of armor. Calling it a suit of armor is almost an insult to whatever it is that you're wearing, because it's so much more than that. People, once they realize you're not here to attack them, they notice the weird shape of your head, and then they're just like, I guess this is just part of town now.
Can I pop the helmet off?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say that as part of Timo's understanding Numenera, Timo pointed out to you on the arm, there's like a series of buttons and how to operate them. One of them is sort of like a lift visor. So like the front of it, even though it's kind of ballooned out, the mechanism still kind of works. A panel sort of lifts up and out and slides back over the top of the helmet. Like kind of like a visor, except like a hydraulic visor, I guess you might say. And your face is visible underneath. And everyone's like, wow, there's a lot of extra space in there for your head.
It's very roomy.
I could fill it with water for you.
You want to live in a fishbowl, don't you?
I don't breathe the water like you.
Really? Huh.
Lack of gills over here.
You might have known that. Anyways, so Hervin and Dale are now approaching the heroes of the town, and they say, "Oh, thank you for your bravery. I'm sure this would have ended up much worse without your help."
Perhaps you will let us receive a reward.
A reward. Hervin and Dale looks around to the townsfolk, and they say, surely living in such a wonderful place as this is its own reward.
I tend not to stick to a place for too long. I was thinking more of perhaps a monetary reward.
The Aeon priest is sort of standing by, and he says, it's not shins, but I have many ciphers. Perhaps I could trade you one of these, and we could call it even?
One for saving a city.
Well, you certainly didn't do it single-handedly, the priest says.
Exactly, and one for our party would not be okay.
I live here?
Sure.
Shh.
You're on my side here.
All right.
Both of you are on my side here.
Anura, I would like you to make a difficulty 5.
Okay. I will have you know that I took my training in all tasks involving positive social interactions. I also am already trained in it, so does that mean I'm specialized?
Yeah.
Positive.
Huh?
Positive. You're trying to persuade them to give you stuff.
Is bargaining a positive social interaction?
I feel like after the party and I have saved them, I feel like this is very positive.
It's okay.
I feel like if he's not trying to extort them or intimidate them out of it, it's positive.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm asking.
Guilt tripping.
No. I think you're making a persuasive argument, though. Nonetheless, I think this qualifies as positive in the sense that you are not trying to kill them, much different from the people who you stopped.
And you said a difficulty
5, so that would take it down to a 3.
3, and because time is running out, I'm gonna spend some points here.
Okay.
I don't have any edge.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get it.
Cool. Yeah. So with a little, calling it negotiation would be putting a grossness to what it is you're actually doing.
Yeah, I'm guilt tripping. I'll admit it.
Yeah, that's fine. I am going to draw each of you a cipher.
I had to give up my fish for this.
Your fish?
Yeah, remember the fish in the lake?
He was trying to find something to hook up with.
Yeah, I mean...
Hey, the lake is still there. That's all I gotta say.
Gotta get it.
Okay, so Timo, roll me a 1d6 plus 2.
Okay.
Brick, roll me a 1d6 plus 2. Kat, Caden, yours is already determined. And Anura, a 1d6 plus 2.
Nice.
Okay, so Timo, you have a level 8 stone form.
Stone form?
Yes, this device causes the user's body to become a stone statue for 28 hours. While in this form, you are immune to damage inflicted by energy, and you have 4 armor. You're catatonic until the effect wears off. I'm going to also say that this is something you could use on someone else, not just on yourself.
So basically, I'm made of stone but can't do anything.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of, here's what, and this is maybe a meta consideration, but I could see this being very good in the situation where an iron wind was blowing through, or something like that, where perhaps a field was catching on fire and you needed to stay safe for a few minutes. So you have that available. Rick, you have received a level 6 spatial warp. Hold on, I have to zoom this up to read the text. It's a little small. When affixed to another Numenera device that affects a single target at range, the range is increased to 1 mile with no penalties.
Wow.
Love it.
Do you still have the death beam?
I still have the death beam.
Wow. Good to know. Okay.
Yeah, but I need direct line of sight if you look at the text there.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But you're still a sniper.
Yeah, I'm still just a massive sniper right now.
That's, despite the fact that it may not come in handy for this particular adventure, you get the idea that would be super handy in hunting.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. One of these cards says Doomsday Device. I'm not choosing that one.
Oh, come on.
Come on, I rolled an 8 too.
Hold on, let me just read this. I'll read it out loud and then we can decide if this sounds fun. When activated, the user sets a timer for up to 1 year. When the timer runs out, the device explodes out to a range of 1 mile. The explosion inflicts 20 points of damage to everything in the area and saturates the area and ground with radiation that lasts 5d20 years. Inflicts 1 point of
that's perfectly safe in Caden's hands.
Sure. The other device is...
I will trade you for my spatial warp.
Just to get it away from you. The other option is a reset. It utterly erases the last 5 minutes of time. Everything goes back to the way it was, and no one except the user remembers what happens during the last 5 minutes. I'm going to say you get the reset.
That's fair.
It's level 10. I don't think that's going to matter for your... probably anything, but just in case. All right, and Anura, you get what was your roll? A 6 plus 2
altogether. Yeah.
Cool. Wow. It looks like I'm just going to give you the choice between the cat's eye and the teleporter. Same teleporter that came up earlier. So the cat's eye grants the user the ability to see in the dark for 8 hours. The teleporter is 100 times the level of the cipher, so 800 feet to a location you can see. Same teleporter that was given out earlier.
I'm gonna take the what? I don't care about seeing in the dark.
That's why I wanted to give you the choice.
Yeah, I'd rather teleport 800 feet to get away from the death bomb.
The death. You gotta teleport like a mile away to get away from that one.
Good start.
Okay, so you've all got your ciphers. I had sort of envisioned. Well, I'm just going to say what I think is going to happen in the interest of time. Herman and Dale notice as they sort of survey the damage y'all have done to the abhumans that this is not the entirety of the tribe. The leader, Dale sort of, as he sort of thinks about it and talks over, he sort of looks down at his disabled legs and notices or remembers the original battle and the face of the leader of these people. If this was the raiding party, they probably have a standing army that's just on the edge of the horizon that's probably on their way here right now. This town is not safe. We need to move somewhere, or we need to find shelter behind a bigger wall than the Aeon Temple. There's only one place I can think of. Hervin sort of looks over at Dale as he says this. He says, "You can't be serious. People don't go there." And Dale says, "Do you have any other thoughts?"
We can all just go move into the lake.
They glance at you as they say this, and you notice Hervin sort of look over to the southeast in the direction of the lake, but maybe not quite. And he points and he says, "Celiscore Castle. It's the only place where we can defend ourselves." And Dale says, "We can't go there. It's haunted by the ghost of the old king. He doesn't allow visitors." And Hervin says, but we have no choice. This town will be gone tomorrow."
Does that ring any bells? What have I heard about the castle?
It's kind of like, to the locals of Whitelake, it's almost kind of like a ghost story, like the Boogeyman or something like that. Most people don't bother going to the castle because it's, for one, it's across the lake, so it's treacherous to get there unless you're going with a group of people. Two, the only people who have been there to explore said that there's something very strange going on, and that they get the feeling that there's entities watching them.
I'd like to punch a ghost.
Oh, totally. It's going to be an option.
Maybe next charity stream.
Ghost punchers.
Ghost punchers.
Ghost punches.
Punching makes me feel good.
Who you gonna call? Ghost punchers.
I'm seeing a combination of Ghost Rider and Ghost.
Oh, that would be fun. Anyways, he says, if we're to do this, the king won't just allow us to walk into his home if the rumors are true. And seeing the strange things that are existent out here in the beyond, I would be more surprised if there was something less strange than that. But if we're to survive through this, we have to go there. Unless we just abandon the town and head off into the wastes, and everyone goes their own separate ways, this is going to be the only way to keep the community together. And there are old people who won't be able to make the journey if we decide to abandon the city.
This is why you should have given us the Doomsday device. We could have just set it up here and then left.
To be fair, the timer is up to 1 year.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a year.
It's true. Well,
Wait for them to hit the town and bing.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to roll a 50-50 on this rather than just choosing. If it's 51 or higher, you get the Doomsday device instead of the reset.
Damn, we 49%, huh?
Yes.
That's so close. All right.
Yes.
Caden, make me proud. You have a Doomsday device, and with the aid of the Aeon Priest and of Timo, you're able to discern how to use it. Right, 20 points of damage to everything in the area, and you know this ground is going to be laid to waste. It will be hard to return due to the radiation, but
for the record, I'm just so happy it's not in my hands.
Actually, what he's going to do is he's going to go back out towards the lake.
Okay.
Whoa.
Not to the lake, but out towards the lake, and then angle off in the direction from where they came from. Find an
to
area
try and get the radius to the side of the lake where they're probably going to be crossing.
But save the lake and everything like that. But we know the direction that they come from.
Mm-hmm.
So why destroy the town when I can destroy out in the middle of nowhere and just create a patch of radiation?
Hey, I never said anything about destroying the town.
question.
I might have implied it.
Would Ozzy be able to manipulate it to make it a trigger as opposed to a timer?
That's a good question.
I don't think yet.
I'm gonna say Ozzy and Timo. This is going to be difficulty 10 for you to make this happen.
Okay.
If you can get the skills and the effort to make this a possibility of, I think it has to be, if you can get it down to difficulty 6 or lower, there's a chance you can do this.
Can I aid them by using water to cool them off while they're sitting there studying over so hard?
It might be a nice thing. I don't know that it's going to count as aid in this situation.
A nice gentle mist around them.
I will say
that Disneyland and the
Young Priest is going to be aiding you with this. So that's going to count as an asset. So that takes it down to a 9.
What about Herv?
Hervin, actually, I think with his expertise in magnetism, that's going to count as an asset too, because the way the material of this Doomsday device is suspended, it kind of uses, I don't know if y'all in real life know anything about plasma containment, but you use powerful electromagnets to sort of contain the plasma within a certain place. Hervin would be able to assist with this to sort of make it to where it doesn't accidentally blow up while you're trying to tweak something else. So that would take it down to a difficulty 8.
Is it being suspended in water? Or a liquid?
There's some heavy water in there.
Can I be an asset?
Why not?
1,000 ways and name it.
Sure. That gets it down to a difficulty 7. One more step, and it's possible.
And I'm going to spend effort.
Okay. Just 1 point, so that should cost you. Do you have edge in intellect, correct?
I do have edge in intellect, yeah.
Okay, so you know how many points that's going to cost then. So that takes it down to a difficulty 6. Is there anything else we can think of?
Spend points.
Oh, your skill and understanding.
I already spent points.
You have skill with Numenera, though, correct, Timo?
I am skilled in understanding and identifying Numenera, not crafting.
Okay.
But your understanding, you have to have an understanding of it in order to manipulate
your understanding will apply as an asset. So that would take it. With your effort and with all of everything else that's adding into this, you're going to accomplish a superhuman feat of repurposing this device to launch on a remote trigger. Difficulty 5 would mean 15 or higher is a total success. And before you do anything, a critical failure is the end.
Fair enough.
Critical failure means this stream ends 10 minutes early.
Cross your fingers, everybody. Here we go.
Hey, can Brick go out and
that's just like a mile and a half away from here?
Well, no, what I was looking to do is they mentioned that there is probably an army headed this way. I would like to locate it.
Okay. Why don't you you can the Aeon Temple has a bell tower. There's some stairs and a ladder that leads up to the top. You get a good look there.
You just want me to be around, don't you?
I'll give him my cipher too, so he can increase his range.
Oh, interesting.
We are become death, destroyer of towns.
Destroyer of maybe ourselves.
Typical adventuring party.
I'm going to spray everything around them with my artifact device to make them fire resistant. I'm going to treat their clothes and everything like that. I can't treat them, but inanimate objects. So I'm treating everything around them and their clothes with the artifact to keep them from bursting into flame.
Sure, this makes people feel better.
That's all it's going to do.
Hayden has an inability to understand these things, and so it makes Caden feel better.
Yeah, and knowing about your mastery of fire, despite the fact that we all know an explosion is a little bit more than just fire, the people here maybe don't have the same understanding as us, so they look at it as like, oh, this is very helpful. In a worst case scenario, they're all like pretty nervous anyway. So like, oh, whew, calms them down just enough, despite the fact that it may not really save their lives, because 20 points of damage is a lot of damage.
Rick thinks this is foolproof.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
got-
I
he's got
will
the
say,
armor
Brick, you don't have to go to the top of the bell tower. I was just making a suggestion because it is a good vantage point for the surrounding area.
We're gonna. If he's going to the top of the bell tower, I'm also gonna give him my teleporter.
Oh, okay. The teleport is enough to get you 800 feet away, which is down to the ground, and then about another 700 feet in any direction. So you've got, in a worst case scenario, you can go pretty far from where you're standing. And you've got his, is it a cipher?
Yeah, the telescope.
Didn't you already use it, though?
Oh, I can only use it once.
Yeah.
Damn. Well,
That's okay. He's got eagle eyes. He's literally, he's got the eyes for this.
Me? What? No.
Well, you're a hunter, so like I figure you've got sharp eyes. You can really spot things very well from a distance.
An army, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Because they're
where
going to
would you like to
fast
go
and-
to scout? I guess, Brick, is the real question.
How long? Well, I suppose there's really no telling how long it'll take them to change this device how they need to.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of it's basically the meta question: do I be a jackass and abandon everyone, or do I go to the top of the bell tower and stay with the group?
We haven't discussed whether or not it's okay to do that, but I'm assuming since it's a one shot, you absolutely are welcome to flee the city if you think it's a bad idea to stay here.
I'll go to the bell tower.
Okay. Yeah, once you get up there, you can sort of see in the distance, and it's not like there's not like clouds of dust rising behind them, but there's a group of several hundred of these abhumans, and they're kind of calling it a march is maybe giving them more credit than they deserve, but they're walking in a group toward the city along the same path that the previous group did around the side of the lake. With that information, Caden. And the trigger that y'all have set up for the Doomsday device, you're able to find a spot where you're like, I know with as big as this explosion is going to be, I can see that they're going to be in the zone of it. Like, it would be really easy to tell with a group of that size that they're going to be in the blast, and you could do it right from the watchtower.
Okay.
Does anyone else have anything they would like to do before we blow the dome?
I really, really wish that this was a single target item that I could just put a range of 1 mile on with my cipher, but
Well, the device would probably still blow up if you shot it from a distance, but
we already say, we have to succeed, right?
I thought we already rolled for that. I can't remember.
We rolled, but it was a failure.
Oh, so this is all moot.
Yeah.
Okay. It's been nice knowing you.
so we can still just set a timer.
Look at the last roll. Rolled a 4.
Oh, sure enough. Yeah. Okay.
But that just means we didn't change it. You can still use it as a timer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't get the modification we wanted to make.
Right. You didn't break it and you didn't blow it up accidentally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the teleporter, can I teleport myself or can I teleport an object?
Yourself.
Yeah, I think it's limited to yourself.
And it only takes you one way. You can't teleport back.
Yeah, but what I was thinking is if I can put somebody who can sit there in a globe and then teleport a globe of water with that person in it, or one of us can but we have to get out a mile.
You can only teleport the thing it's attached to.
Timo, I would like you to make an understanding Numenera roll about the suit of armor.
About the suit of armor, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So intellect.
Oh boy.
It's going to be a difficulty 5.
Okay, so trained in understanding Numenera, so that makes it a 4.
Would it help if I
because of the game, so I'm going to spend effort again.
Yes. Okay, so that with the effort, it takes it down to 3. Any more than that? The assistance of the Eon Priest. He's going to help you with this too.
Oh, right. Okay, so 2.
2. So 6 or higher will succeed.
Yes.
Nice.
I knew that earlier.
Yeah, right?
Right. You and the Eon Priest sort of get to thinking. You're like, that suit of armor. I saw the way it works.
Can we make it move on its own?
It could be made to do that.
Or is it perhaps nuclear bomb proof?
It's actually both. But when he said make it move on its own, I was like, oh, that's actually cooler than what I was thinking. So you have the option of either walking your ass over there in the suit of armor that you suspect will be largely radiation proof. I will just say it will protect you from the blast, but you will become a mutant. Your character doesn't necessarily know that. Maybe it doesn't matter to them if they're willing to make a dangerous risk sacrifice sort of a thing. If you were to
Brick's all for it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Caden will do it.
Brick's all for it, and I'm already in the armor.
Okay. Brick, you are handed the Doomsday device, and it doesn't fit in your hand. I don't know why I'm holding my hand up. It's actually like a big, like you almost need the suit of armor just to lift it up by the giant like crate handles on the side of it. And you start to approach, or you turn to face where the army is approaching you. What would you like to do with the Doomsday device? They taught you how to arm it too, by the way, so I'm not going to make you necessarily roll to hit the button that starts it. They set the timer. What timer length would y'all like to have set on this? I should say.
I've seen kind of the breadth and scope of the army, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's like more of the same kinds of people. Perhaps there's the leader is going to be maybe a little more aggressive and a little stronger than the previous sergeant type, general type person would be. But so it's like a few hundred.
If we can judge the speed, the rate at which they are approaching, then we'll set it off. Then we are basically next to it, so it'll cover most of it.
Yeah,
most of the army.
So the plan is for me to go somewhere, drop it, set the timer, and start running away with the armor.
Yeah.
Or you could just sit there. Or I was thinking you could just approach them and they wouldn't necessarily know that you're not their friend.
Yeah.
You're wearing the suit of armor.
They're
gonna be like, what's wrong with your... You could go like right to the thick of them. And they're like, what happened? And you're like, beep, 1 second timer.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Get blown through the air, but I'm just gonna say, unless you critically fail on that roll, you're gonna survive.
I got this. I'm doing that.
Okay. Anything else we would like to get done in the few minutes we have before the end of this session?
I'm going to put, how much, is it like very spacious inside the suit?
No. It's about like a normal humanoid size inside, except for the helmet, which is now expanded to like the size of a big pumpkin.
Because I was going to put like water inside of there just so he like takes the impact if it gets knocked around.
I feel like my understanding of acoustics would be that makes it more dangerous.
I don't know that.
Okay. I don't think there's room necessarily for water.
Water makes everything better.
Sure. That's what you say about everything, though. Let's see.
It's all right, because the force of this will probably make me wet myself. I'll be good.
There's going to be some water in that suit of armor one way or another. Unless there's anything else y'all would like to do, I think the plan is laid out pretty straightforward. Would you like to approach them with your Doomsday device, Brick?
Absolutely.
We brave few. You start almost casually walking toward them. It's not fast because of the way the suit of armor moves is somewhat slow anyways, but like eventually you get to where they notice you and they're like, oh, that is our captain that we sent out in the party that's supposed to have returned by now. Let's see what's going on. So they lower their defenses and let you approach them. The leader, you see, it's a woman who's very thin. There's no like hair on her body at all, and when she moves, it looks like there are trails behind her, like she almost transmits herself from one place to another. She sort of sees you approach and he says, "What is that? Set it down." What happened to your head? And like immediately she, as you sort of hesitate in your response, I should say, immediately notices something is off here. You're not who you're supposed to.
I want to have had the timer set and just wait to the activation button. That's all I need to do.
It is that moment. Right now is the time to press it. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, so you hit it. You don't know what happens. You can't see it because you're blinded by the light. Revved up like a deuce in the middle of the night. A bright flash. The rest of you, all you see, it looks like the sun itself gave birth on the surface of the ground a couple of miles away from where the town is. There's just a bright flash and a shockwave that extends out. You can see the crops in the field all get sort of flattened to the ground as the force lays them down and they don't come back up. And all the rest of you can see from your vantage point atop the tower is a thick hunk of metal getting launched through the air. And it lands in the town square with a metallic thud, destroying the fountain and leaving a smoky trail that's just arising off of the surface of it. It looks like the invaders are vapor. And Brick, I would like you roll me a d20 and don't get a natural one. 16, you survived. In the few weeks it takes you to sort of recover, like you still took some
skills now.
You get some interesting mutations. You notice that there is from the side on your left side, there's a smaller arm. It kind of looks like a little T-Rex arm. It's just kind of like it functions though, and it actually works really well for writing. It's like the hand itself is more dexterous than your actual hands are.
Sweet.
You have a writing arm.
You have a writing arm. Hey, kid, you and him should get together with that paper generator Numenera you've got. Okay.
So you can hold the reins with the extra arm and then use your regular hands.
That's actually pretty cool. So with that, it is now officially 1 p.m. I think it is probably a good place for us to stop. The Aldea of Whitelake owes the heroes today their very lives. And were you to stick around town, the people would never forget the way that you stopped the abhumans from basically mowing everyone down. The end. Thanks everyone for joining. Feel free to, I don't know if Mike wants to take over from here or what.
No, I'm here.
Sure.
So, awesome. Thank you guys so much. This was super fun. John, you did aces. I know you said this is one of your first times running Numenera. 10 out of 10, man. This was super good.
I'm glad.
You blew what Bob does out of the water. I just like to shit on Bob. Bob, I love you.
Literally.
No, we do too.
This was super awesome, guys. I know, Rob, this is your first time. Everyone else, you guys have played before. Thank you so much for that. So let's do our introductions. Let's get you guys out of here. We'll reset for the next game, which is Monster Hearts, which should be sassy teen monsters smooching in high school. I'm pretty sure that's what the whole game's about.
That sounds awesome.
Right? That being said, let's jump around. We'll hear from Rob first. Rob, this is your first time playing Numenera. Who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of this session of Numenera?
Well, I thought our DM did a great job.
Thank you.
Again, I'm at McKincaid on Twitter. Just here to help play some tabletop games and help raise some money for a good cause. And I had a great time. Definitely gonna be looking into playing this game some more in the future.
For sure. There's actually right now, guys, I will plug this because why the hell not? There's a Humble Bundle right now on Humble Bundle, as it were, that has the 2 brand new core books and a bunch of other books, and you can get everything for $15.
It is such a good deal.
Yeah, the single core book itself is $20 PDF on the Monty Cook website. So buying the entire thing for the price of one of the books is just an astronomical savings. So
2 bestiaries, lots of source books, 2 campaigns. Huge.
It is a massive bundle. I think it's like $300 worth of books for $15, and it helps charity. So I'll put that link in there. That being said, let's jump over to Ozzy. Ozzy, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of this one shot?
I'm Ozzy. I'm Carl on Twitter and on Twitch. I love this. It was a completely different Numenera game to the previous one I was played, where it was proper exploration and finding out secrets and that sort of thing. And that's what I love about this the game, because it can be a lot of different. The scope is so big, and so you can also, when you're running with it for a group, you can tailor it to what your group wants. Do you want exploration? Do you want secrets? Do you want social interaction? Do you want fights? And we felt, quite a bit of fighting today, and that was great. So it was a good way of seeing the scope of it. And I do lots of things like this. I appear on various people's channels. Like on Monday evening, UK time, 6 p.m. UK time, so it would be 1 p.m. Eastern. I will be on Squaticus' channel playing The Last Knights of Earth. This is a game run by Donovan Fry, who's using Monster of the Week in a world inspired by Stephen King's The Stand.
Oh, cool.
So this is my next thing coming up. And then on Tuesdays, we are starting a Curse of Strahd campaign on Capricorn Cross's channel, and we're currently doing the Session Zero's character creation for everyone.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, Ozzy, always glad to have you back on the channel. Let's jump right
It's my
over.
pleasure.
Of course. Let's jump right over to Kat. Kat, who are you? First of all, welcome back. Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of this Numenera session?
I am at Cleric of Cord on the Twitters and anywhere else. Check my pinned tweet to where you can find me throughout the week. Playing games at least 4 days a week, 5 days a week. You can find me on streaming somewhere all over the place. This was a blast. Again,
Literally.
what I love about the Cypher and the Numenera is the range of characters that you can create. It's a very flexible system, and so if you can think of it, you can create it. Basically, it's so amazing, and the abilities that go with that. This was a blast. Again, this was unlike any other Numenera game I've played, and I get that. And every Numenera game is like that.
It's true.
Everyone is different, based on your GM and the characters that you throw at it. And this was such a blast. Thank you for having me back again. I look forward to coming back anytime you want to do one of these. Sign me up. I'm here because I love this. It's a blast.
I think that's everyone that's important. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. Bob, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of this session?
I'm the guy that runs your Numenera game.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to see that, you can see it on Monday. I'm Bob. I'm with Dice and Heroes along with John. If you guys want to catch us, you can catch us on Dice and Heroes on Tuesdays, where we run the Waterdeep campaign. I believe we're in session 3 now.
Yep, next one will be session 3.
Yeah. And later today, we are doing our original campaign, which is Edentide. Other than that, you can find me at Goodnight everywhere, including in chat and on the Discords and Twitter. This was a lot of fun. John, good as always. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Hell yeah, this was super dope. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, chat, for hanging out with us and playing some Numenera. I love this system. I love Cypher systems. That being said, we're going to get these guys out of here. We're going to reset for a few minutes and get the new crew in for Monster Hearts, and we'll be right back in a few minutes. We'll see you guys then.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, later.
Thank you, everybody.
You made my first.
Right, don't forget to donate.
So pleasurable. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you didn't panic when Monty Cook showed up. So.
No, that's fine.